Hello and welcome to Spurs Kings TV, Spotlight on Spurs and Designated Hotspur. It is time for the N17 SOS, the survival show, the monthly reflect. Luke, you well? Happy?
Mate, I'm absolutely delighted. It's just the Premier League is just a beautiful, beautiful beast, isn't it? So, yeah, I mean, I can't believe we're here yet again talking about a 17th spot, but hey, we stayed up. That's the main thing, and now it's over to the ownership and the club to see what they're going to do going into the summer window. But I'm well, I'm smiling, and it's all good. It's all good.
Manny, how you doing, brother?
I am fantastic. Fantastic. This show is for the non-believers. We're in for a ride. All the people who said that I was talking nonsense when I said we would get 10 to 11 points. All the people who laughed. Oh, who's not laughing now? Who's not laughing now? So I am here for all of you. I even got my wife's glasses on, right? I came prepared, but I am well. I am happy. We are up. That stain is not going to, stay for the next decade. So I am good, and I'm in good company with everybody who believed, right? Everyone who believed. But we'll get into it, guys. We'll get into it.
Lubo, my friend, how are you, my sir?
All good. Pleased to be back on. Torturous season, lots of relief. And we kick on, we go again, don't we?
Yeah. So when we finished the last show, I believe we were in the bottom three at the time. And then we obviously had Wolves next and Villa as our next two games. And I think I'm going to say a couple of us predicted 2 wins out of 2. A couple of might have predicted a win and a draw. Luke, go on, because you want to tell everyone.
No. I mean, my record speaks for itself. You asked me to deliver my 5 predictions for the next 5 games, and I told you what was going to happen, and I got every single result right. But listen, I'm not here to boast and brag and tell you how great I am. Let's go on to Manny.
Spotlight on Spurs.
By the way, I'm always bottom of the FPL, the predictions. I can never win a bet, but apparently I can get this right. So I don't know, but yeah, I backed wins, and I just felt Villa were always gonna ease off. I think on the show I even said I think Emery's gonna go. He's really gonna go for that Europa League. It's massive for them to be able to get that. They was already home and hosed in the league as far as I was concerned. So I thought that they would. I didn't think it would create the controversy it did, because apparently anything that's related to Spurs creates controversy. I've seen loads of clubs swap their teams around and move their teams around, but because it was against Spurs, it was they needed to be investigated apparently. But yeah, I felt that we would win against Wolves. Thought it was going to be a bit more comfortable than it was, and I also felt that we would beat Villa. So but yeah, I'll take my 100% record for this month, and we'll see what happens going forward.
Manny, you've already opened the monologue and saying you predicted this, you predicted that. Obviously, you didn't. Perfect prediction.
No, I didn't. But obviously, it's not about how you get there; it's getting there. You know what I'm trying to say. So it's not about how I got to the 11 points, but we got to the 11 points. That's all I'm trying to say out here. I don't want nobody today. I am on top of the world. I'm telling you that the celebration police are going to handcuff me in the next few minutes. I'm telling you now. But listen, I predicted Wolves win. And like Luke said, 100%. I was looking at that. I was thinking, goodness me, we're not staying up, are we? Even after the win, I was thinking we are going down after that performance. And I predicted a Villa draw. I didn't predict us to win that game.
Hold on. Yeah, Mr. Negative predicted a win. You remember?
You did. I have to give you that one. You predicted a win. I didn't believe. Tell you the truth. I knew, as Luke said, I knew they were going to rotate. I just did not think, because when you look at Villa's even the second team is full of names, right? I know football is not played with names, but I thought we are not gonna get a win there. But that performance was one of our best performances. So, yep.
Lubo, bring you in.
My memory serves me correctly. I think I went for wins against Wolves, Leeds, and Everton, and defeats against Chelsea and Villa. I think. So
no, I think you back draw against Everton. I think you said we'd draw at home and we'd stay up on goal difference. Is what you said. I think you had this thing about goal difference. You're saying Arsenal are going to lose out on goal difference. Spurs will stay up on goal difference.
So yeah, that's right. I was hoping City would win the league on goal difference as well, but that didn't happen, unfortunately. So we got there.
At any point in that running, and this goes to anyone and anyone can answer this, did you not have that squeaky bum where you were going, actually, we might actually go down now?
No.
Wolves.
Yeah.
The only time I did, to be honest with you, was after Forest, which was before.
Okay, which was before, yeah.
Before Tudor heard his tragic news, sort of walking out the ground, you just thought to yourself, the team's looking such a mess. There's nothing there. You know, we had a decent 44 minutes. Forest scored just before half time. The second half was a shit show, completely. And you came away from there thinking, you know, what was it, 2 in 22 at that point, I think, and it was, we're done. And then Zerbi came in the week later, and away you go. So yeah, listen, he got them believing. He lifted heads, picked up players' confidence, picked them up off the floor, and got them playing a little bit. Listen, the football wasn't great at all, was it? In fairness, I think Villa was a really good performance, and there were parts of the Brighton game that we played well. But apart from that, wasn't particularly good, was it? In all honesty, Chelsea was appalling. Everton was poor. We were the better of two poor teams. But they did enough to get 11 points from the last 6 games in effect, and they did the job.
Yeah,
but lack of quality complete, wasn't there? You know, you saw it against Everton. You know, if we'd have had a decent team, can you imagine what we'd have done against Everton with Kane and Son in the team? Would have probably won by 3 or 4. So. And that goes to for probably a few of the games.
Thomas Frank would still be here if we had Kane and Son still.
I'd rather not have Kane and Son.
I felt I was on a roller coaster, to be completely honest. So I fully agree with Lubo. After the Forest game, I even said it on the show. I said, if Tudor stays, we are 100% down because his entire approach to be fair, I could say the same for Thomas Frank, and I know people are not going to like it, but today I don't care, right? I couldn't care less, right? The players that we have cannot get anywhere if they treat the ball like a hot potato, and that is what Frank and Tudor did. Every single time any of our players got the ball, it was lump it up. But back to the point that I was making, after Forest, I was thinking, we are down. And then obviously the Zerbi came in. And after the Brighton game, even though we literally conceded in the last minute, I thought, we're staying up. And then I watched the Wolves game and I was thinking, after that win, I was thinking, oh my goodness, we are 100% going down. And then after Villa, I was like, guys, we're genuinely, we might go for the title next year. Like, it was literally up, down for the entirety of it. I do disagree slightly with Lubo about our performances. I think our attack was poor because we got poor attackers, but we actually had the ball and treated the ball in a much better way than we've done in a long time. And I know a lot of people keep going back to the point, Frank had Paulinho and Bentancur and people didn't like it. It wasn't them being there that people didn't like. It's the application of those players that people didn't like. And you could see a massive change when De Zerbi came in the way he utilized both Bentancur and Paulinho. It wasn't great, but it was nowhere near as bad as what we'd seen, which gave us the chance, which we took.
Yeah, I had to send out a Twitter apology to Bentancur. I was like, sorry, Frank Ball just convinced me that your ACL injuries had just finished you off and that you couldn't play football anymore. And then all of a sudden now you're watching Bentancur and you're like, oh, listen, I'm not saying that he's elite, but you're sitting there going, this is a player that can play. You know, everyone that was saying, oh, we can't play through the middle, we can't pass, we've got no midfielders that can get. Bentancur has just come in, and when you consider the length of injuries as well that he's had, to come in and to perform to that level, I think was so good, and obviously was massively needed. Now, again, that doesn't mean that he should be starting week in, week out. That doesn't mean we shouldn't go and upgrade, but I definitely feel like there are certain players in that team that were being held back by the tactics, and unfortunately, that's why that's not necessarily just on Frank. That's on the board. You don't go from an Ange Postecoglou to a Thomas Frank. It just doesn't work. That's why I said it was never going to work, because you can't keep chopping and changing like that. And that's why you've got players that suit one system and don't suit others. It doesn't make any sense. But going back to, did I think we were down at Wolves when we
After
weren't
Wolves?
And obviously we scored, but parts of that game, I was like, we're down. We're not recovering from this. And then obviously the man Paulinho, the man that's hated
Come off the hour.
fan base by 50% of the fan base, comes up and delivers. And without him, without his goals, what's it, 4 points he got us against Wolves?
Yeah, 4 points against Wolves.
Three against Wolves, I think, wasn't it?
No, he got the winner, didn't he?
He got the equaliser. Do you remember?
The equaliser in the last minute.
At Tottenham
Hotspur.
1 point, and the winner, which was 2 points.
Oh, yeah, sorry, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah. 3 points, yeah.
But do we not think, Luke? Do we not think that, you know, Manny talked about the ball being a hot potato. Bentancur played very well for me. He was different class under De Zerbi than he was under Frank.
Mm.
But he was one of the main 2 or 3 players that helped Spurs. You know, that were very influential in keeping Spurs up, along with, for me, Paulinho and Kinski. But we lack technical players. So someone like Bentancur does look that much, you know, further ahead from everybody else, because players just don't have the technical ability. Porro does, but I think he's being played out of position, although he's defensively against Everton, he was much better. We don't have players that are comfortable on the ball. You looked at the game at Chelsea, and you had Caicedo, Enzo, and Palmer just playing around us, keeping the ball, knocking it around for fun.
Yeah, and Chelsea were poor, weren't they, Lubo? Chelsea was so poor,
and they weren't good, but
yeah,
but technically they were so much better than we were, and you could see that.
So for me, I think the game that I started to believe. I know I had 45 minutes with Luke on last word, and that's when I kind of switched. But the game where I started to actually believe was actually not any of ours. It was the Brentford-West Ham game. Because after that game, I went, they're not picking up anything against Arsenal, and they're not going to pick up anything against Newcastle.
I told you.
And I thought they were going to beat Brentford, because I didn't know where Brentford were. Brentford had been playing really poorly up until that point, and West Ham...
They hadn't lost. Marlon, they drawn 5 on the spin in one previous one, but they weren't losing. So
to be fair, the game was not a 3-0 game.
Yeah,
if we're being fair to
West Ham. Yeah, West Ham should have probably had been out of sight in that first 25 minutes. It was only because they missed chance after chance
a few times and
whatnot. And then the game switched.
I was putting together my daughter's outdoor. I don't know what it was. supposed to take you like 2 hours. Supposed to take you like an hour. And I'm watching the game. I've like not even done anything. Mrs. comes in after like half an hour. Like, how far you got with that? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not supposed to be watching this game. I'm supposed to. I was just fixated on their game. So, that was a big thing. But I kept saying that when it comes down to the end of the season, it's not necessarily. Everyone kept saying we don't have the quality. It's not necessarily about that. It's about the mentality and the fact that West Ham had been on such a good run.
Yeah,
did we beat Wolves and go above them, or was it the Villa game we went above them? But whatever it was like soon as we basically took we had 14 games where we didn't win. We basically took half a season off didn't even participate for 14 games, basically, won a game and then went above them. And I think psychologically that was massive. And then obviously they went on a little bit of a bad run. And then you know what you're like. We've been through it. You lose a couple of games, and all of a sudden you just feel like you're never going to win a game again. Because there were plenty of people saying Spurs weren't going to win their last 5. They weren't going to win a game. So it's a tough one.
Well, we were 13 points clear of West Ham at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
So
it's funny because a West Ham fan actually said when and they actually was spot on with this. He went basically West Ham's relegation running wasn't really with Tottenham. When you actually look at it, they had to be better than Forest and Leeds because that was the team they were competing against. The reason why it even got dragged out as long as it did was because of Spurs' bad run of form.
Yeah.
And it should never have been in that situation because Spurs literally just shit the bed, basically, he said, when with the Frank Tudor going on to De Zerbi.
I think it was something like an 8-game, 10-game streak where West Ham and Forest were both in the top 6 or 7 for form. And obviously teams in the bottom 3 don't go through that form. So when you actually look at it, like if West Ham didn't go through that amazing form, then we would have been up like weeks and weeks ago, which is mad.
But that's the point Luke, that's the point I was making to and to be fair, I have a lot of West Ham friends, right, who get giddy every single time, one of their players touches the ball. And I kept saying to them, I was like, listen, yes, you've gone on this amazing run this year, but football is not linear, which is why I was thinking, hold on a second, but their form away from home had been iffy for a while.
Yeah. It hadn't lost, but it was roaring.
100%. And 100% at home, you could count on them, which is why that game against Everton, when they scored in that last minute, I was thinking, goodness me, we might not do it here, because I had that inkling that they were going to beat Leeds at home, even though Leeds are quite good in general. But that's football, man. As Luke said, we've been sleeping for the whole year, and then all of a sudden we decided, actually, you know what, we want to stay in the Premier League, so decided to win a few games.
They should have probably, and when you think about it, the Arsenal West Ham game, forget the incident, but the chances that West Ham had in that game, they should have probably put it to bed then as well. But Raya makes that fantastic save, and just that's when you kind of knew it was starting to fall for us a little bit.
But that's another mentality thing again. Yeah. Like they're sitting there going, like, we could have picked up if a decision went our way, we pick up a point against what would be champions, and that gets taken away. All of a sudden, we go from being buzzing for a goal, for a result, for this, and all of a sudden it gets taken. Like, all of these little things, they don't really matter at the start of the season, but as it gets to the end, it really, really does. And I think that's the other thing. Like, when you look back at the squad, and that we've had all discussions, every single podcast we've been on, as I talked about this squad not being good enough, the team not being good enough. When you actually look through, particularly like West Ham, they've had players that have gone through runs of form, like Tatty up front for them, Somerville for them, Bowen, obviously. We've not really had any forwards all season go through form, really. Like, I mean, good form. And yet we managed to get ourselves out of it. You know what I mean? He had a bit of a run, didn't he, at the start of the season? But outside of that, but no. And also, they
had only one injury, by the way, Luke. They had one injury,
and
it was what's his name, Traore. I don't know. I think there were rumors that he got injured in the gym, but that's just another conversation. They had one injury.
He went to the gym. He told us he don't go gym.
He got filmed by Somerville in the gym. But they had one. That's another thing that they kept forgetting as well. Obviously, like Luba mentioned, and I fully agree with him, Bentancur coming in and taking hold of that midfield absolutely changed the way we were able to play with De Zerbi.
Well, even against player of the season.
I don't even know why they did a player of the season this season, but it changed us, and that's what they would not understand, is the fact that they were playing at full pelt, and I didn't feel that they were going to be able to keep that going all the way to the end of the season. Whilst with us, any player coming back would have boosted us, and obviously De Zerbi coming back as well. So, mate, I'm chuffed. I am happy. I'm relaxed.
He was the difference maker. Like I know, and Lubo again's right. Kinski big factor. Palhinha,
Yeah.
Bentancur, all big factors. I'm not saying he was a major factor, but Tell got some goals and assists towards the end of the season, chased down that goal for Wolves, which again gives us that confidence to go on. But if De Zerbi doesn't come in, I don't think any of them perform to the levels they do, and we get out of it. To be honest, I think that he was the biggest game changer, and probably the only thing the Spurs board have got right in a very long time, because I can't remember what I was watching, but they was talking about when teams are down there. There's a very particular manager that you go to look at. You go and look at your Pulis, you go and look at Allardyce, you go and look at these steady managers that get you. We didn't do that. We kind of gambled and went to someone that we had no real clue if he could get you out of a relegation battle with low on confidence players and stuff like that. And we gambled on that.
Do you remember all those stats? He doesn't win his first 6 games when he comes to another.
Do you remember Tudor's stats? Yeah. Tudor had some outstanding
stats. Oh my God. And that just shows you how football can be so different depending on the situation.
100%.
But do you not think with Tudor that he did it with Juventus? Lazio? Italian football doesn't have the intensity that the Premier League does. And I think he probably got a shock when he came across. He saw what was going on.
And didn't he say the players weren't fit enough either, so he had to get them fit?
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what De Zerbi, like, we're all giving De Zerbi credit, but maybe those games that Tudor had of getting them fit actually helped on what De Zerbi was able to pick up.
Yeah.
Because De Zerbi didn't really complain about the players, did he? He more moaned about their mentality. Yeah. Where Tudor was the opposite. He was like, they're not in the right shape.
Yeah, but that could have also been a situation, right? Because I think when under Frank, it was, I think most fans felt that they just kind of got away with murder, didn't really respect him, kind of could do what they like. And we were like, we need someone to come in with an iron fist. And I feel like Tudor kind of took that literal and was just basically turning around and telling everyone, you're useless, you need to sort yourself out. And then De Zerbi kind of come in, it's like good cop, bad cop, where De Zerbi comes in and goes, you're a great player. And everyone goes, oh, you're so amazing. Like, I love you. Like, he literally could have come in and virtually done anything and looked good. But I think that he's absolutely saved it. And a few people said in the chat, Gallagher, I think some of his performances were very, very good as well. But be interesting to see how he gets on.
Yeah. So against Everton, okay, like when we got to that last game of the season, were you nervous, or was it a case of once the game had started, you kind of was like, this is definitely falling our way? Because personally, I think if that game was in the middle of the season, it's probably the most comfortable game I've ever watched Spurs all season.
Pretty much. I thought Everton were poor. I think.
Yeah, it's got it in for me.
Yeah, I think it's one of them though, right? Because like we're all Spurs fans, we know what Spurs are like. If I was watching that game and it was any other team, I'd be like, "There's no way Spurs are losing this." Yeah. And then as a Spurs fan, I'm watching it going. I know for a fact that Van der Ven is just going to kick it in his own net for no reason, and we're just going to I said I thought we would stay up on that last day, but I thought that we would go in a relegation zone. I thought at one stage we would be losing, West Ham would be winning, and it would be like really nervous and horrible.
So I spoke to a West Ham fan like recently, a couple of days ago, and I said to him, I felt like West Ham was so nervous in that first half against Leeds that our goal relaxed them, because they went in. They literally should have been 1 or 2-0 up. Leeds missed some glorious shot, and West Ham just couldn't get the ball flowing. But as soon as they went in at half time, you kind of saw an air of energy that they knew about our result, and they kind of went, you know what, it's out of our hands now, and they literally just turned Leeds over. So it was kind of in that situation where, because we were playing, I thought we played quite well against Everton. To be fair, we just made sure their midfield was stifled. And I think that was very key into the way our performance went, and us scoring, Paulina doing what he does, just kind of helped us out.
Yeah, mate. I was absolutely nervous, mate. I'm not even gonna lie. I was literally.
This is why I'm asking, because I
was nervous. Right? Listen, the thing that I was thinking, right, was because I know a lot of people had that conflicting view when West Ham were playing Arsenal, right, about whether West Ham should get a point or not. I actually thought it was so crucial that West Ham lost that game, because had they not lost that game and got that point, it would have meant that we would have had to match their results. So a point would have not been enough in that last game. But I was a bit relaxed with the fact that I knew we only needed a point, but I was scared about the fact that if West Ham had scored, I was scared about what would have happened in the stadium, because even on the TV, I wasn't able to go because I had to look after the little one. But on the
blaming
TV,
Lubo, yeah.
on the TV, all you could see was Spurs fans constantly looking up and checking the phone, looking up, checking the phone. So had West Ham scored, I don't know whether that would have seeped through, but us scoring first just relaxed me. I was there. Once we scored, I was thinking, I don't think anything West Ham does is going to change the fortunes, because West Ham would have needed Everton to score twice.
When it started to get the last 10, 15 minutes and you start, and even when was it? I can't remember the guy who took the shot, but when Kinski saves it, I'm like, even if he scores, they have to score another one.
Exactly, they need to score another one. You know what I mean? Which exactly that.
That's and it just didn't feel like I know we're looking in hindsight, but I was obviously doing well on Tottenham TV at the time, and you could see my reaction with Sim. I was sitting there going, I'm not even that worried. And he was like, why are you not nervous? And I'm thinking, because what I'm watching play out is exactly how I wanted it to play out, and it's going completely against what I would have wrote as a script. And
you wanted a non-event, right? You just wanted nothing to happen. I was celebrating at the start of the second half, going, "This is so good." The fact that we've got this delay, like Moyes would have gone in there and absolutely destroyed them, and then this is kind of calming them down. And it gets to the end of the half, and I'm going, "Oh my god, there's 37 minutes added on. Like this is not."
Yeah. And I remember saying to Sim, "Remember when we went against Norwich?" And it was like, we have to try and get the result so we can pimp Arsenal to the top four, and we got it early. And it was just a non-event. This is what the game felt like. Yeah. Because even at 0-0, the result was still in our favour. All we had to do was draw. But we were playing so well, it was just like, okay, it was weird. It was the weirdest feeling, considering I was here saying we're going down.
I also have to confess, I was flicking through the games so badly. I was literally, every single time I felt a bit comfortable watching our game, I'll just flick it to West Ham, and I was cussing Calvert-Lewin. I was cussing that brother, because I was thinking, how do you turn into prime Osimhen against us, putting your body in on the line, and then a tap in? He had a tap in.
He turned into Timo Werner, didn't
he? Timo Werner tap in. But listen, in the end, outcome was exactly what we needed, man. Exactly what we needed.
I think for me personally, the key thing with Everton was first goal.
Yeah.
Once we got the first goal, you relax, because if you go 1 down to Everton, then you're thinking they're going to pile 11 men.
Yeah.
But 11 men behind the ball, our strike force are just dreadful, and you just worry it's going to be one of those days that we're just going to huff and puff and not get anywhere. But we got the first goal. And to be fair, Everton were poor. They were really poor.
Thank God. Thank God.
So it was, the guy next to me said, "Cool, you're sitting there very calm." There was nothing really to get excited about. It was pretty much a non-event, considering the importance of the game. There was just nothing in it. And again, Kinski, 98th minute with that save. Just superb. So that was the only time they really threatened. I think there was one shot that just missed the post with Kinski beaten, but apart from that, I don't think there was anything else.
No, we had our, when Pickford spills the ball from Spencer's shot, and things like that. It was like this. We just seemed to be gaining momentum as the game went on, but we had that little spell in between. But even then, I just never felt like Everton were gonna put any pressure on us, because I think the problem with Tino Barry, I think what happened was, I think when Spence was played at right wing, they moved and died to the other side, and that just seemed to just not work for them. And they tried to move, what's his name, Dewsbury Hall over to the left, and I think they tried to counteract that way, and it just didn't work for them. As soon as they should have seen that lineup, Barry should have come out and Beto should have come in, but he messed up, and you could clearly see he knew he messed up. But I'm so glad he did.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing, right? Like, you just want to get over the line. Yeah. That's all that matters. I see loads of people saying, like, celebrating and this, that, and the other. Everyone was just so relieved. Like,
especially after Chelsea. Come on. everyone watched us against Chelsea.
Not just that, but everyone was expecting, and well, a lot of people were expecting that Chelsea were going to send us down. That was going to be the fixture where we go down. Like, and I've seen a lot of people now come out and say that maybe we should have kept Frank and that we was never going down. And I'm like, inside this club, we were in dire straits. Like, we were terrible. And I'll tell you what, the most ironic thing about the whole situation, which is just absolutely brilliant, Manny will love this as well, is actually if you take out Frank's first 10 games, which I was told you should do that, that his points per game ratio was shambolic. It was awful.
It all went to crap after November.
So take out the first 10 games, as we
how many injuries,
managers.
You're not allowed to talk about injuries, are you?
And he's put, so this was on the wall for a lot of people for a hell of a long time. And similar to like last year, we were so far clear it wasn't going to happen. But there were a lot of people that were really concerned about the form. And I remember going on a show, we was on 18 points, I think, from the first 9 games, I think it was.
17.
And I said, if we play the next 9 games, we won't get anywhere near 17 points because we've got them. I'll take it 100%. We haven't been very good. We haven't looked very good. We don't look like we dominate games. We don't look like we're going to score enough goals. The only thing I felt Frank would do was mean that we wouldn't concede enough to be in a relegation battle. And obviously,
you can't, and that's probably has gone in our favor. Like you say that, and we didn't concede as many, which probably has helped us later on. Like it was because we couldn't score for crap.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to put it down. And what I liked about De Zerbi, and this is where Manny's point is correct, when you actually look at how defensively what De Zerbi didn't actually change nothing with the defense. It was the issue now was we actually had the ball.
Yes. And
that put less pressure on the back four because you had Bentancur and Paulinho in there who one could mop up, one was better on the ball. Yes, if Tell or Wawani and what's his name, Richarlison had lost it because they're not the best. It just meant that we could rely on what was behind them with Gallagher, Paulinho and Bentancur, and which then meant that Danso and Van der Ven didn't have as much pressure on them throughout the game, and that's what
we were defending less. That's all we were. We were just defending less.
It was. Yeah.
Well, the key thing was that the team conceded 17 shots on target in the last 7 games, which was the best in the Premier League.
Yeah, and that was it.
And you look at the goals that were scored and the goals against in those 7 games. We only scored 8 and conceded 7. And of those 8, I think Richie got 2, Tell got 1. And of the other 5, I think Paulinho got 2, Gallagher scored, Simmons scored, and Porro scored. So, we got 4 of the 8 goals from midfield.
Well, to show you how important, and I was arguing with a Tottenham fan the other day because we were talking about Kinski, but because they were saying that, look at Man United. And Man United, I still think, don't have a great goalkeeper. But they concede. But it shows you how important a front three can be because they conceded 50 goals this season. But they scored 69. So you can blatantly tell if they didn't have the front three that they did, they would have been down there as well. Still.
Do you not think, Marlon, that what was his name? Salmons, was it? Lemons was such an upgrade on Onana.
Yeah, it was an upgrade, but was he when you look at goalkeepers and what Man United have, will he be the goalkeeper that it's either their defense or it's their goalkeeper? And I think it's a bit of both. And I think I think he's a stopgap, and he's the Ramsdale of what Arsenal are doing. They need to go and find probably a better back 2 and a better goalkeeper just to take them to that next step. And City did the same with Donnarumma. So sometimes you need to, when you look at your goalkeepers, and depending on where you want to finish, you have to think about how good and what quality they're going to bring, and especially when you get into Europe.
Some situations they just require like a steady Eddie.
Yeah,
they just require someone to just come. I'll never forget the Palacios signing for Spurs.
When
it was we literally are probably going to need him for 6 months. But we absolutely need him for those 6 months. Yeah. Like, you should be signing him, and within a year, you should be upgrading him. And there's certain positions where you don't want to do that. You don't want to sign someone and know you're going to upgrade him in a year. But there are some situations where you go, we just need someone to come in and just do a bit of a job. And having Onana in goal brought such negativity to Man United for so many reasons. They just needed someone come in to just do a half decent job, steady the ship, and then let them see where that takes them and kind of go from there. So, but that's sometimes what you need to do. And that's why certain players, I mean, you could argue that there's certain players that we're signing or want to sign. They are probably going to be stopgaps. They're not for the future, but they're absolutely key to, or could potentially be really key to what we need. And we've been saying it about the young players all this time. We need to bring in some more experienced heads. Them experienced heads might just be stopgaps. They might just be here for a year and they'll go on and go somewhere else. But sometimes that the situation requires that you do that.
All right. Let's talk about stopgaps and signings and stuff. So we've obviously we've had a few statements this week from board members and whatnot. But the big one that seems to be coming out of everyone's lips at the moment is Lange out, Vinay out. Well, the statement this week clearly says Vinay ain't going nowhere. But let's talk about Lange. Where's everyone sitting on him?
I'm sorry. I'm just very surprised he's still in a job. I don't advocate for people losing their jobs, but obviously in that sporting environment, you know, you lose your job, you get another job, and you know, life goes on. And I understand to a certain extent when people are talking about Vinay and when they say, you know, well, some people think and believe that Vinay hasn't been here long enough.
He's a weasel though.
Whichever way you want to put him, right? I've watched all the videos. I've watched his video with Ben, right? And what I thought was, especially with that question about the January transfer window, that he swerved in the most
big time
corporate way I've ever seen. And the whole
it was Levy's fault. The whole thing was Levy's fault.
When I came in, it was in a state. Oh, guys,
you already told us that.
To fix everything since September. Like, we all don't like, well, majority of us, I guess, don't like Levy, whatever, you know, everyone in at different rates, right? But there is no accountability from this guy. Yeah. And that's the reason why I struggle.
Yeah.
I really struggle to have any liking for him.
Simon Jordan pinpointed it spot on. He's a weak because the fact they didn't take no response and they're blaming Levy still. Hold on, you had a whole January transfer window to change it.
Transfer window.
I don't think it's just him. This is everyone.
Yeah.
100%. And we repeated ourselves, right? Levy was here last year when Ange practically at a press conference begged them to buy some players because of the number of injuries he had. Levy went. You were in charge in January with Mr. Lange, and you decided to not buy anybody and send Lange, or I don't know whether it was his own decision, to come out and say, oh, we've got to make sure we know that our injured players are coming back. That is, and bearing in mind, I 100% believe that they're going to push Lange as a sacrificial lamb because someone's head has to roll for this. Someone. That's the corporate life. In every corporate setting, if something goes majorly wrong, they'll push someone out there as the fall guy. And I genuinely believe, like, when you read all the statements and you see the fact that there is no mention of Lange, no mention of him at all whatsoever, I think he'll be gone very soon. But Vinay is on borrowed time because someone who can't take accountability for anything they do, they will make the mistake again. So, well, let's see. But Lange, I'm surprised he's still in a job. That's my verdict.
I think it's just a lack of accountability everywhere. Like Peter Charrington, his statement. And I know, Luba, I'm sorry. I know you have got you got a hatred for Levy. I don't hate him as much as some. I don't think he was great at some aspects, but the fact that they just sit there and they're just like, yes, this guy's fault, like, for everything is just ridiculous to me. Even the whole Thomas Frank thing, I still see people say, yeah, Thomas Frank is Levy's man. And if that's the case,
He wasn't.
That it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether he was Levy's or he wasn't. If he was Levy's or he's the new team or new leadership group, whatever. Either way, it looks horrendous on them, because if Levy's the one that's done that, and within a few months you've sacked him, just proves how clannish you are at managing this, to allow a man to make one of the biggest decisions, appointing a football manager, and then within a few weeks you're getting rid of him.
Yeah,
or he wasn't Levy's guy and you stuck by him, and this is all on you. So either way, it sits on them, and it's the same thing for Levy. Levy had his faults, plenty of them, the way he run it, all of that sort of stuff. Completely get it.
Still a prick too.
The ownership, no, exactly. But the ownership were absolutely fine for 25 years, accepting that he was timesing their investment by millions and millions and millions, and they didn't care. He was hitting every single remit that he was required to do. That's why he had all of these big payouts. That's why he was one of the highest paid chairmen. It weren't because he was dictating. He was reporting in, and they were saying, we're happy with the job. And then the second he goes out the door, they're like, this guy had no clue. We had no clue what was going on. We had no idea. It's like, you should have. You absolutely should have. So whether you like Levy or don't, that's irrelevant now. I just think it just shows you what they are as an ownership, that they either had no clue what Levy was doing, or now they're trying to turn around and say he was terrible and we just let him get away with it, not for 6 months or a couple of years, but for 2.5 decades. Like, either way, it just shows incompetence in every single way on them. Personally, that's what I think.
Let me go through the various parties one by one. Let's start with ENIC. If the fact that they had left Levy to run the club on a day-to-day basis, and he ran it, and literally he was involved in every single aspect of the club. Yeah. Louis, it's Palamine's son joined the academy. I think he was 15, and coincidentally he knows Levy through mutual friends, and he bumped into Levy at a mutual friend party a few weeks later, and Levy said to him, I see your son's joined the academy. Well, what other MD chairman knows the name of every single player who joins an academy at the age of 14, 15? They don't. And the problem Spurs had. Listen, Levy was honest. We can't turn around and say that he lied to the club. He didn't. He said in a quote before they joined that they're looking on Tottenham purely as an investment vehicle. Yeah. That's it. So they were honest about it. No good for us fans at the end of the day. You want a team that's going to compete. Stretch yourselves. No guarantee you're going to win a trophy, but at least have a go. Don't take Spurs up to a certain level where the fans keep coming in and the money keeps coming in, but you're not prepared to take a risk because there's no guarantee of success. So you might be investing X amount without success. Listen, when you're an owner, it's your club. You spend the money as you wish, but they never gave us a proper chance of really succeeding and being sustainable. So for me, ENIC are to blame right the way through. The second thing is that just jumping from ENIC through to Levy, something's gone on there that we don't know about, and it's nothing to do with Thomas Frank being pushed by and signed on by Levy. I think from what I was told, Levy didn't want Frank to bring his team in, and he was overruled. He said no. Levy said no to Nagelsmann to bring his team in. Levy said no to Nuno to bring his team in, and this time he was overruled. So I don't think we can blame Levy for the Frank appointments. But they never stretch themselves. Something's gone on, whether we ever hear about it or not. Joe Lewis instructed an outside team of management consultants to come in and go right the way through the club. And normally that's the case when bosses are looking for validation for their thoughts, and the strategists, the management company went out, consultants went out, gave Lewis their report, and within no time at all, Levy had gone. Now, Levy went on September the 4th. For me, Levy brought in Munn, who brought in Lang, so that Lang lies at Levy's door. Problem was that because Levy micromanaged everything, he didn't bring in experts who know about football. So we've not been a proper serious football club since Enoch came in. And for me personally, until they go and sell to proper ambitious owners, that's not going to change. In terms of Vinay, I think I was quite pleased, when he came in.
Please weren't the word, Lubo. Please weren't the word. You were happy. You were giddy.
No, that's right. When Vinay
Communicator.
That's right. Correct. He spoke a couple of times to the fans, and after 25 years of only hearing from Levy when you had the end of season program notes, that was a step up. He made 3 serious errors, Vinay, that for me show he's not fit for purpose. Number one, if you're going to be a CEO, you've got to be in a position where you are comfortable making difficult decisions. Paratici came back. He took the easy way out. He made them joint DOFs. And when I think Lang was going to look after the kids, and Paratici was going to go after look after, with his network of scouts, the senior pros. He let Lang cut across Paratici. When Lang and Frank wanted a certain player, Paratici was saying, no, I don't want A, I want B. Vinay took their position, Lang and Frank's position as well, which is why Paratici left. I'm not saying Paratici was fantastic, but he was much better than Lang, that's for sure. The second thing was that Lang was allowed to go from beginning of September to the end of December with nothing planned in terms of bringing players in. And if they were going after players, he was unsuccessful. So for me, that was poor. And the third piece for me of massive misjudgment was Vinay with Lang wanting to keep Frank till the end of the season. And we were just getting worse and worse and worse. And we finished that, we won 2 in 16 when the board took the decision to overrule Vinay and get rid of Frank.
Is that Lubo? Is that if you take the first 10 games out in it? He won 2 in 16.
No, after the first 9, I think it was.
Taking that first
We
9.
were in free fall. You're right.
So for me, it was on Vinay's part. It was really poor. Now,
sorry, Lubo, I'm really sorry. What was that? Did I see that Solanke was a success on that?
I'm going to get to that.
Oh, okay, good. Sorry, Lubo.
And when it came, and then moving from Vinay on to Lang, as I say, the guy had 4 months to sort things out. The squad, listen, for me, for Enoch to bring in 4 senior pros, I call Simmons and Moani senior pros. They played at a decent level for a few years. For Enoch to bring in 4 players, albeit 2 on loan, was a massive improvement on the 1 when they brought Solanke in the summer before. It was nowhere near what we needed, but I don't have any expectations of Enoch. And I mean, maybe this year, De Zerbi's put them in a corner, particularly with their statements this week. They've got to come out and back him now. But in terms of money, they're bringing in free transfers already, so they're covering their outlay already. But for me, Lang just not fit for purpose. I don't see how he can continue to stay in his job. The fact that what he came out with in that interview the January window nearly cost us Premier League status.
Yeah, when we say what he came out with, we know it was Vinay, yeah? We
Maybe.
clearly know it was Vinay.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Like he's he just basically said what Vinay told him to.
He was the face of it, but it's all of them. It's the fact that they were so confident, and that's the thing. That's one thing that if I think it's a positive, right? Considering there is no positive in this that has come out in of this season, is the fact that the reason why they felt so comfortable not to buy anybody other than Gallagher and Sousa, even though at that time, I don't know whether I remember right, but I think we had like 10, 11, 12 injuries or whatever it was at that time, is because of the season before. Because the season before, it was atrocious, finished 17th, but we were in no danger of going down. So they literally just thought we're not going to go down. We're absolutely fine. And if there is anything that maybe might come out of this season that will probably be a positive, is that if there is something that scares a board member, a shareholder the most, is the thought of their assets valuation being wiped off. And they were 90 minutes and a Kinski save away from being relegated and their asset, the valuation of the asset plummeting. So that's the only thing that I'm thinking. Maybe they're gonna look at that and say we can't have this ever again.
Manny, I just want to add to that, because just the final part of me going through all the guys there. Luke, you were talking about, Levy's meeting his KPIs every year. The profits are rolling in. The Lewises didn't take any dividends, interestingly enough. They weren't taking any. They didn't take anything out of the club. I think Levy took 60 million out, I think, over 25 years. But the way Levy built the business, in effect, because he ignored the core part of the business, which is the football side, we were one defeat away from the whole thing tumbling down nearly, because all of this is built on quicksand. If you neglect the football, you finish up in the Championship. They were looking at a £270 million loss, and probably anything over from £1 billion to £1.5 billion off the value of the assets. So to me, if you start neglecting the main part of your business, that's ridiculous. That's pure stupidity. So how people can say he's a great businessman, God knows, because this is his legacy, and to an extent Joe Lewis's as well. Where we were today. He didn't ignore.
Oh, here he is. I've got to mention Levy. I was just gonna say, he obviously. It's easy to say that that he either's positive or negative, right? He either takes all of the criticism or he takes none of it. You can't have it where he's responsible for bits and he's not responsible for others. So whilst I agree we could have pushed the boat out, and again, if I'm an owner and I keep seeing the fact that Levy's gone cheap here, Levy's gone skint here, Levy's not spent this here, I'd be turning around going to him, why are you not spending the money? If they were willing to spend it and wanted to spend it, they could have easily said to him, you need to start spending more, and they didn't.
Yeah,
but the other part to it is that yes, he did. The football team has been neglected now, but he also gave us the best side that we've seen in 25 years in that Pochettino. He obviously, if he's taking the criticism of it, leaving it in a bad state and allowing the team to think, he has to obviously take the positives of building that team. That Pochettino team that we all still look to.
No, he still left us short. He's still
absolutely. But what I'm saying is
11 was great.
But the ownership, they are the ones that.
100%. I fully agree with you.
So, while you're saying, and I completely agree with you in terms of there's two parts to this. There's your footballing, there's your business. From a business point of view, he has done remarkable from what it's grown to what it is. He has done remarkable, and what he's built and what he's left. But the facts is that right now, you have to earn money on the pitch. You have to perform well on the pitch. That's why we're in all of these metrics on finances right now, even though we've not been that successful in terms of winning trophies, winning titles and stuff like that. So there is a part of it that plays both hands. But what I'm trying to get at is it's not even really about Levy and whether he's at fault or he's not. The accountability is always at the top. If he was doing a bad job for the first 15 years, you should have sacked him 10 years ago. If he was doing a bad job 8 years ago, you should have sacked him 8 years ago. If it was 5 years ago, you should. But the fact you sacked him now, unless you're exactly. But they were perfectly happy with him until they wasn't. And then it was, I kept calling it Levy got Levy.
It's the kid.
He done exactly what he done with all the managers.
But it was profit before glory, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was always profit before glory. So Levy was doing a great job for Lewis.
Yeah. When it was Lewis and Levy, Lewis was happy. Lewis didn't really care.
100%.
From the sounds of it, the reason why that relationship is now broken down is because Levy tried to get the club sold behind his back.
But that's all nonsense. Yeah. That's all nonsense, Marlon, because that was the thing that they kept going to. Yeah, well, Levy's preventing us from selling the club. You've literally just come out in a statement a week ago saying you're not selling the club. It's all nonsense. Everything they come out.
But they said that Levy was trying to get the club sold. So that was the reason. Apparently, and they don't want to sell. Well, I don't know if they want to sell it. That was what we were fed.
No, they were saying that what I read was that Levy was holding the club to such a high valuation they weren't getting bidders, but yet now they're coming out saying that they're not interested in selling.
No, so I heard that what the problem was that Levy was going behind their backs trying to get people to come in and sell, and they didn't want to sell. But Levy was still trying to be the chairman of whoever was coming in. That's where and he was doing this.
But they're not interested in selling it.
Yeah, but
so it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. So, but that's why if they're not interested in selling it, is the reason probably why they've pushed Levy out, because they don't want him to be there if he's trying to get other people to come in.
I think Lubo's right. I think there's going to be something that will come out where there's a bit more to this.
Yeah, there's going to be a bit more until and that's the thing at this present moment. But with Levy, I always go, look, at the end of the day, with him, he's part of the problem, but he's not the full problem. And
no, he can't be the full problem. For me, he ran the club on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So in terms of missing out on players, not moving for players, not spending enough on, when a manager wanted a player, but he couldn't get him because Levy lowballed the offer, and in the end, Spurs had a head start on Eden Hazard. Joe Cole phoned Harry Redknapp up and said, "We got a fantastic kid."
Yeah, but
he messed about so much that evidently the little chairman.
I know. I will give him the benefit of the doubt with Eden Hazard, because I heard a lot with that transfer.
Hazard come out and said that he was already signing for Spurs, but we got knocked out of the Champions League. That was the only reason why he didn't.
Hazard, basically, from what I was told, there was Manchester United, Chelsea, Spurs, and there was all these offers. Spurs were only good, and we're all chasing him. Spurs, the only way that Spurs could have got him that summer is if Chelsea never won that Champions League that year. He would have been our player, because we would have been qualified for the Champions League. He messed everyone about. He messed not just
I don't know
us.
if it was Hazard. I don't know if it was actually Hazard. No, I mean,
the reason why I know is because I know things when I was at that time.
No, well, I'm saying there was an interview. Yeah. There was an interview. I don't know if it was with Hazard but it was around people they basically said that he was signing for Spurs until Chelsea won the Champions League.
Exactly.
And that kicked us out of the Champions League.
So Levy couldn't do anymore.
That was nothing to do with it. He weren't going to quicken the deal up or anything like that. He wanted Champions League football, and we didn't get it.
But I'm not saying you're wrong, Lubo. I'm not saying you're wrong. And there are other deals that I know that Levy completely messed up. But when it comes 100%. To Hazard, I just know at the time that when it was all happening, we weren't the only ones in for him, and it was only because the Chelsea Champions League was the reason why he signed for Chelsea. Nothing else.
Listen, I'm sure Eze's in Budapest, and he's very happy that Levy screwed up the deal by trying to put caveat after caveat into the.
The Eze thing.
And then Havertz got injured halfway through their negotiations, and the whole thing changed.
But if we look at it now, it's just like we're still in the same mess because they can't get anything over the line. Still, like if you're not saying what they said in January, then that was down to them not getting players.
And
that's
the point. That's the point, right? If you're turning around and saying, right, Levy's the guy that's messed all this up. He's the problem. Okay, I'm not saying you're wrong. Okay, I agree with you. So what does January prove? If going and signing players and getting deals over the line is so easy and it's so quick, and actually if you had a decent chairman, it's so why didn't you do it? And that's what I'm saying. We're still seeing, if you actually look at the January transfer window, this window, and you look at last year's under Ange, they're nigh on identical. We were massively struggling for months beforehand. We knew the positions we needed. We knew the players that we needed, and yet none of them were over the line. And apparently Daniel Levy was the negative one, when actually they're exactly the same. There's no difference in them. The ownership have been running the same way for 25 years. It's just been Daniel Levy's been the sheer head point of that.
Which he loved. and he was
Absolutely.
gonna, he loved it all.
Absolutely, he did. And listen, like, this is not a boo-hoo of Daniel Levy. I feel sorry for him. The guy's walked
No, he's a
away
prick.
with millions and everything else. Do you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, if we sat around, if we put together, because obviously these billionaires that come in, they don't care about money. But if us four here all chipped in to buy a football club, and Levy come along and said, "I'll run it for you," best believe all of us would be going fucking yes, because we know we're going to be on a fortune with you being here. You're not going to spend much.
Okay, say what Lubo, say it weren't Tottenham, and it was, say, someone like Wrexham.
Not good for the ownership. Yeah. Not good for the fans. Sorry,
we are bringing Levy in.
Unbelievable for the owners.
I disagree.
Yeah, but
I disagree. I disagree. Do you know what? You can go in. You can go into a separate business, and put everything into it. You can earn a lot of money. Football is different. You know, there are fans who are engaged shareholders who are putting money into the club, and football success and financial success do correlate. You know, the bigger,
yeah, of course. But that is why Levy or Enoch, whenever we were out of Europe, they'd invest so much into the club again at that point to get us back, because they knew that the revenue from being in Europe, and especially Champions League, that was the time to do it. It was always when we got to that point, where Enoch and Levy would go, "Oh no, we can do it on a budget now." Because
I think it was for about 10 years. I think it was the top 20. I don't know how the metric worked in terms of revenues or whatever, but it was the top 20 richest clubs and what they were worth in the world. Go and look at them. Every single one of them have won a league title after league title after league title. We're the only ones that didn't. So, yes, I agree with you. Obviously, the better you are and the more you win, you will create more money. But Levy's been able to generate all of this money with us being shit,
that's winning nothing,
which is ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? And then if the ownership then went, do you know what? And this is exactly the same as players. It's exactly the same as managers, in my opinion, right? If you're saying Palhinha, let's use him. We're going to discuss him after, but let's use him as an example. You might say, right, a Palhinha type player is good enough to get me to the top six. It is vital to what I need now, but actually he's good to get me to the top six. But from the top six, I need something different. If the ownership went, Levy was perfect to build us from being what I remember Gary Doherty, Anthony Gardner being at the back, Casey Keller being in goal. He's fantastic. He's fantastic to get us to compete in at the top, but he's never going to get us to the top. So now we need to go and change and bring someone else in. Then I'd absolutely be like, yeah, I get what you're saying. But all they've done is just carry on what Levy was here doing. Then there's no difference to it. They're not doing anything different. So if they would have changed it, I'd have been like, absolutely, you're right for making that decision. And it's the same thing what I said about Ange. If you want to sack him, I get it. Make sure you're bringing in a very, very good manager, a top manager that's going to change your direction. They didn't do that. Same thing with players. Everything is the same at this club. We never, when we get rid of something, we never upgrade it, or we go to the same level, or we go down. We never go, actually, we're going to take that step. And that's whether it's Levy, whether it's the ownership, it doesn't make a difference. They will do the same.
Well, the problem is, Luke, no, you're correct. And the perfect example of that is the 2017 Poch team. Every single player that's been replaced, that's replaced every player from that team has been a downgrade. Mm-hmm. Every single one. And you look at it, we've never had anybody in the boardroom who knows anything about football.
Yeah, but you don't. You know, sometimes you don't. And I think that's a cop-out, because there'll be other teams that are successful that don't have anyone to know about football. But it's just because Spurs is the highlighted problem at the moment. And the problem we've got, and I think this is what's key to everything, they're saying that no one's ever concentrated on the football part of the pitch. They don't need to know. Tell me who at Man City, who was in the boardroom that knew about football when they came in. They didn't. They just knew what they needed to spend to get in there. We've got people that know football. But the problem is the people we employ are hamstrung because of the amount of money we want to put in. Like, knowing football is completely irrelevant if your team is being successful.
But Man City also.
I'm just using Man City, but I look at Arsenal this year. Apart from Arteta, again, because you go, but there's no one Tottenham at the club. Again, when you look at Arsenal right now, who is Arsenal apart from Arteta? None of them. They're all completely from different fractions. They've never had no affinity to Arsenal before until now, but yet they've gone and won a league. It doesn't work like that. What needs to happen is you need to have competent people being competent in their job. You don't need to know about football, because if you look at most clubs, most of them don't know about football. It's just you need someone to come in and have the ambition to go and run a football club and know how to differentiate between the two.
So So you're saying also that ENIC have never had that ambition to get to the top?
No, they've had the ambition to get the ambition that ENIC had, that we've all said, was to get to the Champions League, and they settled. They never had the ambition to take it any further, because if you look at every statement that Spurs have ever had, and this is down to them, if that's their ambition, fair play. But they've never come out and said they want to win things. That's never been the ENIC way.
Football is very much it's a gamble regardless. You can go and spend billions and it don't result in success.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at it from an investment point of view, you can't go into football on the basis that you're going to improve your finances. You're going to, it just don't work like that. So they can go, they know that we're not at this moment, but a couple of years back we were a top 4 team. That's where we were. To go and get that number 1 prize, it might have costed 800 million, and you might have got nothing from it. And they're going, it's not worth the gamble.
Yeah,
that's absolutely not worth the gamble. However, if I spend 100 million and it guarantees me Champions League, and I'm getting, then absolutely that. And that's all it's always been.
Spurs,
and that's the thing. But they'll charge the fans the highest prices.
Yeah, because we'll pay it.
Outrageous.
But we'll pay it. Like, you can't unfortunately, it's a business. Right. It is a business, and this is the problem, that we can sit there and moan, but if we're going to pay it, then why? Like, that's what's going to happen. They're going to charge for our loyalty, and that's, unfortunately, we're not the only football club that does that. Every single football club does that, and this is the issue, that you can sit there and moan.
We are one of the worst at it. We are one of the worst.
We're just terrible like us that charge the prices that we do.
Yeah, but Arsenal charge the same prices as us.
Arsenal, hang on, but Arsenal put the players on the pitch. They
only recently, but not in before that, when they were under Wenger, they were moaning head raising this way because they weren't signing the players that they should have been. They got Emery, and they were still having the same problems. You've got to remember, Arsenal have only done it in the last couple of years.
Hang on. They were winning trophies. Even in the barren years for the league.
Yeah, but that's because Arsenal as a football club have always won FA Cups. Yeah, but Arsenal have always won trophies, and their mantra is to win trophies. ENIC's have never been to win trophies.
No, ENIC's haven't. But Marlon, before ENIC took over, I think we were virtually level pegging with Arsenal in terms
it was about 10, 15 trophies. It was about 10 trophies they had more than us. It was more Chelsea and that lot. It was. We weren't that close. We weren't as close as people think. But remember Chelsea, we were 4th best. I think Chelsea were behind us and City were. But Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man United were way in front.
I don't think. Go back and check 2000. Don't think you'll say they're way.
They were ahead of us more than we think.
But before ENIC joined, we won 13 trophies in 39 years, 1 in 3. Now we've won 26, which is 1 in 13.
That's what we want. Is that what ENIC wanted? ENIC have always said, and they've told us the truth. If you think about it, they always wanted Champions League. They didn't want the FA Cup. They didn't want the league. That was all bonuses. For them, it was always about making Champions League each year. And then when they got it under Poch, because they got it under Redknapp and went, and then they tried to go for it again. And then once they got it under Poch, they went, we're settling here. This is where we want to be. And that was it. And that's all they wanted. Like, we wanted the trophies.
The problem is that with Poch as well.
Not them.
Yeah, with Poch as well. Poch, if you look at the players that ended up being top draw for Poch, the outlay to get those players was really minimal. Pretty much non-existent.
It was lucky. So they literally stumbled across it.
So they looked at that and thought, right, so we can be at the top by spending so little. And that's the reason why, just going back to what we've been talking about, right? That's the reason why I'm so disappointed in this year. Because when I looked at that summer, I agree with Lubo with that. I looked at the players that we brought in and I thought, okay, we might have not brought in enough, but these players are there or thereabout. That's before I saw Muani play, by the way. But I was thinking that they're there or thereabout the caliber of players that we should be going for. So I was thinking Kudus. Like, I'm thinking this is great, right? And then
sign it.
Yeah, and then I was thinking, like, on the Arsenal point, I was thinking, listen, Arsenal, they were not spending when Usmanov and Kroenke were sharing the shares, right? Until they bought it from Usmanov and then got Arteta and started spending. And I was thinking maybe there is something that has clicked with these lot. That January window just deflated me because now I'm starting to think, has anything changed?
But just going on the Arsenal point, if you look at the sports franchises that they own, Apparently, that's what they've done. They turned them over to become successful.
Yes.
Okay. Liverpool again worked in the sports industry, and that's what they kind of like. Their fans still moan, but that's what they kind of work for. Again, there's no football people there. Like, this is just, if you're ambitious enough and you want to win things, you've got to work out how you are going to want to win things. And for me with ENIC is, yes, I wanted the trophies, still do, but ENIC have always told me, and I've actually quite been honest, and I've always said throughout the 25 years, trophies was never a priority. It was always the Champions League, which then becomes how many Champions League did they make? And then that becomes the measure of failure for them.
Well, they failed the last 2 years. Oh no, this year we got Champions League, didn't we?
Yeah, you don't know. But this is why, and that, for me, like Lubo, everything you want in a football club is everything I want. But the things that I have to understand in it all is this: when it comes to ENIC, actually, have they ever told me that they wanted trophies? And when I actually look at it and look for the past 25 years, they've never promised me that. They've never wanted that.
And you know, Marlon, that's the one word, trophies, that was missing out of all three statements this week.
Yeah.
Not
Again,
one mention of trophies.
They mentioned it last summer. They said they got
when we had it. When we had it, yeah. But this is the thing, and this, like, I don't want ENIC to be here. I didn't want Levy to be here. But at the same time, it's the case of, the next owners might come in and they might have the same. They might look at it, come in and go, actually, we don't need to do much here because this club makes a lot of money. As long as we get them to a certain point, we're making a crap load of money. And that's the problem that I think we're going to have, especially with others coming in.
I think I twist rather than stick.
Yeah.
When it comes to
I'll take the chance. I would.
Yeah, it's enough. They've had 25 years. They should have worked out a system now of how to build a club up and sustain it. They don't, because they're not interested in the football side. They'll take the football side up. I said before, they'll take the football side up to a certain point.
Yep. And then stop.
And then stop, because then they're into high risk. And they're not into high risk. They're risk averse.
And that's exactly the point, Lubo. Go back.
And Sean's always said that, to be fair to him. He's always said, Sean, like, I know he's been protective of it, but he's always said they've been risk averse. And that's been the
100%. You can tell that. Go through every decision that they've made since. You can say even with Levy, right? What decision have they made where they've to dare is to do? Not one of them. They went safe with Frank. They went safe by keeping Lang. Paratici come in. They even said, "Look, we'll do a split role so you can kind of share it." They went safe there.
I'd say twice.
What?
And
They're dead.
They messed up. So Ndombele was a gift, and that's where they tried to be early and give him, and went and tried to break the record. But the other time was the Gareth Bale money. He was stung by that. He'd never be. Levy, never again.
No, I mean, no. I forget about Levy. I'm talking about now. I'm talking about like in the last year. We talk about to dare is to do. We talk about trophies. We talk about like just going all out, just trying to like basically what Ange was saying. We need to do. We need to just fuck everything else off, and we need to go for this. Like actually daring to try and do something. They've not done anything. They kept Frank far too long. Then instead of going with an inspiring signing and bringing in a manager that's going to really go and do something, they brought in Tudor. The only thing that they've done since then is De Zerbi. But even the signings in January wasn't daring, wasn't it? It wasn't sitting there going, look, we're just going to spunk 150 here. Look what Man United done last year.
Yeah, Gallagher was safe.
Look what Man United finished 16th or whatever it was. They lost out in the Europa League final, and they went, bang, here's 200 million on attackers. Can you imagine what world Spurs would have been in if we'd have done that last year? If we'd have lost to Man United, with this ownership gone and spent 150 million on new strike force, or 200, they would never have done it.
United did that when Ten Hag came in. They bought Martinez for 48 million. They bought Casemiro for 70, and they bought Anthony. Was it Anthony? For about 85. So they went and spent 200 million there. Now a lot of that was wasted on Anthony. He didn't make it over in the Premier League. Problem is that we've always been short. We're always those 2 or 3 players short all the time. Redknapp, we're third in the table. He said to Levy, I want Tevez and Nelson?
Suarez, yeah.
Suarez
was a year earlier. That was under That was Redknapp.
Yeah, we got Nelson and Saha, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was meant to be Suarez. I remember. Definitely meant to be Suarez.
Yeah. you know, there have been so many. Mane and Wijnaldum, the year
We ended up with Sissoko.
beginning of the season of the last season at the Lane when we finished second. I mean, those two would have helped us get an extra 7-8 points and win the league. I'm sure. Listen, I know Chelsea set a high bar with 93 points, but
I've still got that X message to tag in Tottenham Hotspur guy, Musa Sissoko. Really, what the fuck are we doing here?
To be fair, he did help us get to that Champions League final. He was all right in that, to be fair.
He did, and there is an argument to say that he makes our top 10 signings under ENIC, because virtually everyone else has been shocking.
Shocking, yeah. It's been he wouldn't make the top 10. ENIC have made some quality signings throughout the years. Don't get that twisted. It's 25 years, they must have made more than 10 quality signings.
When was the last world-class player we signed?
It'll always be Van der Vaart.
Probably Bale on the loan, I would think.
Oh yeah, it's true. True.
We sold Bale for a world record fee and then replaced him 7 years later with him on loan.
Hey mate, I wouldn't be surprised if we do the same with Sonny at this rate.
And we tried. We didn't succeed, but we tried to replace Eriksen with Eriksen as well, didn't we?
So depressing.
Eriksen weren't coming back. He despised everything them lot had done and tried to force him out and tried to get him to sign that contract. He never forgave him for that.
And it's not for the lack of funds, is it?
No, it's never been a funding issue.
There's no funding issue.
It's when we look at it, it's been an ambition issue.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
But then there'll be a lot of fans outside the top. Well, there'll be a lot of fans of other things and going, but what do we expect? We've never been trophy winners. Yes, we've won 2 or 3 trophies every 10 years, but Tottenham Hotspur have never been ones to win trophies every year. Actually, Levy and ENIC have got us where we were competing for a Premier League title at one point. We've got some numerous semi-finals and whatnot, and that's what other fans will tell us.
I give them credit for that. There is a reason why, if had we got relegated, right? I was looking at the last however many years, I can't even remember. The average revenue in the championship is 40 million. Had we gotten relegated this year, our revenue, after losing 300 million, our revenue would have been about 250 million. So that tells you that, and I know people are saying, "Oh, the championship is difficult." That tells you the position we're in as an institution. So we are future proof. Yeah, we are. It is an institution now, right? Like, this is football, it's a business.
Don't tell Luke about that. We're a football club.
Manny, if you've got what, 300 million turnover, and your wage bill at the moment is 260 million.
Well, it's 260 million, but I believe you were smart enough to put those clauses in everyone's contract.
How do you know that?
No. I'll tell you this now. I can tell you this now. Most football clubs, because of Leeds, most football clubs, even Manchester City, will have a relegation clause in the contract.
Yeah,
it's not just Levy. It's
everyone's Football Manager.
It's not just the Levy thing.
Yeah, true. 100%.
It's a Premier League thing. Leeds were the reason why they had to do it. A lot of
but also as a player, I was listening to a podcast yesterday. Majority of players don't care about that when they're going to top clubs, right? Because they don't think they're going to get relegated.
Yeah, so they don't. Yeah, it's in the contract.
Yeah, but bearing in mind, but in any case, that's the reason why. That's one of the major reasons why me and Stel have been going at each other for the past week and a half, right? About this whole delegation thing, where I was saying to people, had we got relegated, it would have even pushed further. If there was any chance of ENIC leaving, it would have pushed that further, because all they would have done, even if, let's say, Lubo, let's say our wages did not even half, all they would have done is they would have looked at it and thought, do I want to sell this business for 1.5 billion less, or shall I put in 100 million to get it back to the valuation? Like, people just don't think. People who literally were rooting for us to go down do not think,
because it wasn't going to be a reason. Because my thing was, if we go down, how do we? If they can't even get it right in the Premier League, how the hell are they going to get it right in the Championship?
That's right.
There was no reset. So I didn't really get it, but this is now the most important part. 17th in 2 years. This is your reset. this is where we will now know whether, and this is where Lubo in a year's time will go, I told you, but this is where we'll know where Enid's ambition really is.
100%.
And they have got a proper, if they do it right, which is outrageous, right? Because Spurs
got the manager.
Spurs don't do things right, but they've got the manager in place. But if they get this right, let's just have a look at who's in Europe this year, right? Bournemouth in Europe, never been in Europe. Sunderland, never been in Europe. Brighton,
Palace
going to struggle in Europe. All of these
Palace
teams
struggled this year.
If you actually look at the points, like 54 points. Liverpool only got 60 points this year. They lost 12 games. Like, we're not talking about a league where it's ultra competitive, yes, but it's not star quality. These teams are not picking up points ridiculously and stuff like that.
There's no Pep next year.
If with a free look at Man United, I'm not comparing us or anything like that but Man United with a 3 year picked up 71 points. They were 17th last year.
Yeah,
and it was because of their front. Like I said, we go back to it. It was their front three, the ones they went and got them to where they got to.
You're spot on with that, Luca. But also, sorry, one last thing I wanted to add on that as well, right? Is the fact that Carrick, as you said, had one game a week the whole since he came in, right? He is now going to go into the Champions League playing 2 games a week, and as a manager, he's obviously in the Championship, but this is a different level of quality, right? How is he going to cope with that? Chelsea, new manager. City, new manager. Liverpool, I don't know what Arne Slot is doing, but you know what I mean? So you're right. I don't know why.
And it's Arteta's last year, next year, if you hear what he said. And he hasn't. He's got a year left of his contract.
Have you seen what's around the papers today?
No.
What was in papers?
They started talking about a new contract with him in the new year, and they'll be nailing him down for an extended contract next week.
So he said, do you see the interview though? He goes something about that he probably thinks that someone needs to now take it to the next step.
What?
So after when they were on the pitch, it's on the Sky Sports interview, and they were a bit like, that's a bit because he's got a year left of his contract, hasn't he? Damn. So it'd be interesting to see if he actually stays long term.
I honestly don't see anybody getting anywhere near them next season.
No, because of the whole league, unless Alonso comes in and does what he done at Leverkusen, it's curtains for everybody.
The one thing about this year I will say is it made me I always felt that my love for Spurs was equaled for my hatred for Arsenal. And that last few weeks, 100% had it in my, like, people were going to me, what do you feel about Arsenal winning the league? I was like, genuinely, and this is not, I'm not trying to, I couldn't care less. I was so worried about Spurs going down. I generally couldn't care. I did not care. And I said at the start of the season, like, if we go down and they don't win the league, like, would you do that trade off and all of that? My love for Spurs is far more than my hatred for Arsenal. And I generally believe there was a situation where we could potentially go down this year, and that I never ever want to be there again. And if that means that Arsenal dominates for a while, then unfortunately I'll take it. But we can't be a championship club. Like, this is just outrageous.
Yeah. I thought I hated Arsenal more than I loved Tottenham, but actually you're spot on. I was the same. Couldn't care less. I care about tomorrow. Don't get me twisted.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't like it. I wasn't a fan of it at all. But
because of the way the whole thing's panned out, especially with the Crystal Palace was mostly on this week as well. You've literally the shine's been taken off their league because of everything that's been going on. And it was really funny. I woke up Sunday morning and I'm expecting to hear Arsenal lifting the trophy today. This and that's just West Ham, Tottenham, West Ham, Tottenham, West Ham, Tottenham.
Yeah,
I was like, right. So a lot of it is kind of, it's not been thrown in our faces yet, but it's going to be when they get delusional in 6 months' time, and then you're going to go, yeah, I remember why I don't like these lot. When everybody's better than this person, that person. But yeah, you are right. When it came to the love for Spurs this year, I just didn't want to see us relegated.
Well, Marlon, you'll see the parade all over the papers, Sunday's parade on Monday morning.
Yeah, but it's only going to be for what? Once they've done it Sunday, I've only got to listen to it for 10 days, and then the World Cup starts. Everyone's forgotten.
And also, let's just be clear as well.
We're talking about Trump for a month.
Because all we're going to hear about from Arsenal fans is how many fans they get at this parade. Let's be clear. They've booked this parade weeks and weeks in advance. Let's remember, Spurs basically had just got back from their...
Less than
before.
2 days.
So there were people anywhere else that weren't able to get there and everything else.
Yeah,
so.
but to be fair again, they've booked it the day after the Champions League, haven't they? So they've all got to get back.
But not many. What I mean is obviously not a lot of people. So if you go to the game, it's how many thousand? It's only a few thousand. It's not a huge amount. But I'm talking about people all over the world that will try and book flights now to be in London for that period. Like
it won't be Liverpool's last year.
Even us, like when we were sitting there, not far from North London, going, we need to make sure we're at that parade. You imagine if you was living in another country, you're going like, if there's ever a chance of me going over to England to celebrate it, a trophy parade, like they would have done everything they possibly can. So they've had plenty of time to be able to book this in and come over and everything else. So, but I literally, you're right. I just didn't. I was like so focused on Spurs that I didn't really care. Like I wasn't a fan of it. I wasn't happy about it, but I just didn't care because like us going down is tragic. Like, it's ridiculous.
My mental health was affected. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I nearly got. Did I tell you I nearly got arrested at the Leeds game? I nearly got out. So I was.
Tell your story before we get to you were keeping and selling. Tell you.
Obviously, I was at the game. We went 1-up, and I was like, "This is it. This is it. We're getting 4 points. 4 points up." And then obviously Matisse, my brother, decided to do a bicycle kick, just a random, just nonchalant bicycle kick on in the box, and then 1-1. So at 75 minutes, my blood is boiling, and I was like, I'm not watching this game because I'm going all the way to Cambridge. I'm driving for an hour and a half. I can't be watching this nonsense. So I make my way, and I get to, I don't even know what it's a very famous, well-known pub in the Spurs community going towards Edmonton. But anyway, so just outside the stadium, by the way. So I get there and I see the game on the TV. So I'm like, oh, right, you know what? Let's see how we're going to do. So I'm watching the game, and then the Madison incident happens, and I lose my head. I was outside. I lost it. When I realized that they did not give that pen, I lost it. So I'm jumping, screaming. I'm jumping, screaming, and I slip. And there were 3 policemen standing right next to me. So as I slipped, they think this guy is drunk. So the guy came to me, held my hand, like, "Are you intoxicated? Are you intoxicated?" And obviously, me being me, I swat his hand, "Don't touch me." Go back, forth, and then literally, like I literally got told, "You go home, just chill out. It's not worth it." And one of those days where you're like, a few minutes later, you're like, you know what? Maybe I should have calmed down a little bit. Like I could be in a cell right now for absolutely no reason. That is what Spurs did to me this season. After Lange said that we had enough players to get us through, that is what they did to me. So see, my mental health.
Lange was right though, wasn't he? We didn't need to worry. We didn't need to stress because we stayed up. So
he told you, Lubo. He told you.
Maybe we're the fools. We should have believed in him.
Let me just get to the super chat quickly, and then we'll go through keep, sell, and loan for the last 20 minutes. A user has said relegation would have impacted people's livelihoods. Yeah, it does. West Ham are probably going through the same now.
And I have no doubt that we probably got a lot of staff as well, being the club that we are. We probably got a lot of staff members on, and a lot of them would have felt that. So
yeah.
Sure.
And even the people in the YouTube, even the people that Spurs fans in the YouTube world, they would have been affected.
I wouldn't. I don't make enough money to worry about my livelihood, so wouldn't have affected me.
Expressions would have been all right though. Okay. So let's go through this last 20 minutes, right? Because we're not going to be seen until the transfer window opens. So.
Can we
hold on? Who's going to be head judge? Should we give it to Lubo because he's the guest? So if we don't agree,
he's going to get it wrong. Right,
let's do an X Factor kind of. So Lubo, you'll have final say, but we'll go for it. So Austin, I'm going keep.
Yeah, he's got to stay.
Yes.
Manny?
Yes, stay. Keep.
Lubo, you agree?
Yeah, I'll stay with that.
What a lovely job he has, by the way. How much is he getting paid?
Yeah, but he's only here because of the quota.
Yeah, but how much does anyone know how much he gets paid?
Not as much as Scott Carson. He had the best job ever. He was the fourth choice at when he
quit football to become a cameraman. He had the best job for a while before Austin took it.
Alfie Whiteman.
Good lad. All right, Benton Core.
Keep.
Yeah.
I'm sell.
Sell.
Yeah.
No, if we sell him, we have to sell every single central midfielder we've got, and then have to buy a whole new load.
Keep. That's
hang on a minute. Let's caveat this a sec. What are you saying? This summer, if you was in charge, would you keep us, or are you saying that to go to the next level, you need to get rid of him?
Depending on what
how many players are we going to sell?
No, but this is my issue. 17th and 17th for the last 2 years. His injury record's not great, and I need people on that pitch, and I need quality on that pitch.
I think there are a lot more.
I'm not sitting there disagreeing with you. I'm not gonna. I love Benton Core, but for me right now, I'm looking at. We finished 17th and 17th. I have to look at how many games he's played. Yes, he's been brilliant when he's been there, but actually now I need to start upgrading on some of these players. That's one reason why I tell him.
This feels like we're getting relegated. Getting relegated. We're gonna win. Let's sell Benton Core. I love him. Think he's great. What? Hang on. What are we doing here?
No, there's gonna be more.
That's right. No, 3-1. Sorry, Marlon.
Yeah, 3-1. I don't mind. I'm not gonna go argue that one. Bergval.
Loan for me.
I'd keep.
Oh, sorry. It will be loan for me, but Luke made a good point earlier. But to me, he needs to play, and I don't think I think it's damning that De Zerbi came in and his first testimonial against Sunderland, he played Gray and Bergvall, and realized very, very quickly he can't play them again. But I actually do believe in the potential. That's why I'm saying loan and not sell, because I feel like
I think we've got to keep him around for De Zerbi ball. That's me. I'll keep him.
I think it comes down to that registration. I think it comes down to registration. If them two have to stay one more year to become home player club trained or whatever it is, then I think they both have to stay, because if we're looking to get in Europe, that's stung us so often. The only caveat.
Agreed.
Lubo?
I'd loan him.
3-1. So
I'm not against loan. I'm not against loan. The only reason I would keep him is if he has to hit that quota to stay. If he has to stay one more year, because you have to do it before the age of 21. So I think him and Gray might have to stay.
I knew he was going to be an interesting one, but Basuma release.
Yeah,
I think he's gone.
Release ASAP.
Yeah. Danso. Keep.
Super.
Well, we know why you want to keep him. Everyone else keep.
Yeah.
I think he stays. Yeah.
He's been really good. And
but what I would say is, if in a world, say we kept Romero and Vuskovic does come back, Danso don't get in that team.
But I get your point. But these are the kind of a player like Danso would never throw his toys out the pram.
That's why I'm keeping Bergval around.
And if you have him there for any eventuality, he will come in and play. So to me, he's the kind of player you need to keep.
Ben Davis.
I think he, just purely because Robertson's coming, I think he goes.
Yeah.
So we all agree.
Yeah, right. I've had enough of Ben Davis. I'm sorry.
Jackie Sheen. I am sell.
Boot. Genuinely, like, throw him out. Cut his membership.
Have you seen that news story? Apparently, his agent, Real Madrid, are after him. Apparently.
Oh yeah. Send it to Madrid.
It'll be interesting if we get to the 12 that De Zerbi thinks are good enough. It'd be interesting if we get to that.
Oh yeah.
Conor Gallagher.
Keep.
Yeah, I think he's not been.
We haven't really got a choice though, have we?
Archie Gray.
Again, same for me. Again, I will say it. It will only be a keep because of this homegrown thing that
So
Lucas
for me,
curve. But for me, if I had the choice without it, it would be a loan. Loan for him, loan for Bergvall. Just saying.
Mine is determined on another player in this squad, whether we keep Gray or not.
Okay.
I'll put Gray at the end. Put Gray at the end.
So but if you lot agree, because we can move him about, but for me, I'd keep him depending on Pedro Porro.
No.
Pedro Porro stays, so Gray goes out now.
So that's my reasoning.
There's no way we sell Pedro. Pedro is so underrated in this fan base. It's outrageous.
I know, and for me,
amen.
For Pedro Porro, I think he's the one player we can get the most money from. If we're trying to raise funds, I think because right back's not a core position for me. The core position is a goalkeeper.
Why are we trying to raise funds?
Because we're Tottenham bloody Hotspur. We still have to. There's so many things we have to fix.
No, is that Marlon or Daniel Levy in the corner there? I can't work it out. Are you trying to
raise funds after spending nothing in January and bringing in Colin on loan?
You spent 25 million on Conor Gallagher, bro. Don't get it twisted.
In the year that PSR is coming off, and we're going for that percentage of revenue, salary to revenue ratio, Marlon wants to raise funds.
No, I do, and I think he'd be a sellable asset. The most
Porro, yeah, 100%. And then we'll buy a right back that's nowhere near as good as him.
No, we don't.
We'll wonder why we're getting worse.
No, because this is why I said if we went and invested heavily in the centre back, midfield, and striker roles, where you go and get players that can be, and I call them core positions for a reason. That's where you want your best players in those positions.
Sorry, has Lubo answered whether he's selling Gray or not?
No, he hasn't. We haven't got to Gray.
He released him.
Are you keeping him or loaning him? That was the question, though.
What, for Gray?
Yeah.
What concerns me, De Zerbi historically doesn't play many younger players, does he?
No, he's not. He brings them in, but
look at Marseille. There aren't many, and I'm concerned that Gray just won't get game time next season.
Wasn't it De Zerbi got the best out of Evan Ferguson?
Yeah, that was one though, wasn't it? And he was.
And didn't he? Jack Hinselwood? Didn't he bring him through as well?
Who?
Jack Hinselwood. Yeah, didn't he bring him through as a midfielder? And he's moved up since he's gone with Fabian Herzog. He's moved further forward.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure he did. I've heard it somewhere.
Having seen what I've seen this season, I think Gray's improved. I think he had several decent games from the turn of the year. I send him out on loan, but I made sure he went to a really good club. I don't want him to drop. There's no way you chuck him in the Championship for me. Send him to a lower. I say lower. There's no one lower than 17th, but you know what I mean. Not a top
to a lower club, Spurs.
One of the promoted sides.
West Ham.
You send him to West Ham. All right.
Oh, no.
Kingsley.
Keep. Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw him there.
Can we loan him again? I'd like to see just another season in the Premier League to see.
Oh God. Right. Luke, he didn't want to be at the club. You could see the way he goes.
As Marlon said, if we've not got any money, then it could just be a decent.
He's trolling.
No chance.
Yeah, you know what? Let me just keep cool,
mate. I want Gibbs White this summer, mate. I want to throw the kitchen sink at him.
I agree, mate.
What a player! What a player!
Mate, go and tell Mariakis you can have your 100 million. Here you go. Mm-hmm. I don't give a shit.
That would be a serious club.
Yeah.
And sorry, I know it's a joke, but sorry, not a joke, but you're saying it in jest because of Spurs. But that position, a lot of people are not talking about that number 10 again. Maddison coming back, Xavi not coming back until the new year. Maddison being injury prone. We need another number 10, in my opinion. But
anyway, he isn't even a 10.
He's an 8.
He could be an 8. He could be a 10. He could be a left wing eye.
Yeah.
His best performances for Forest recently have been in that 10 role.
Absolutely. But if you're building a squad, like it doesn't need to just be a single position. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could even start playing 4-3-3 with Maddison and him and a Bentancur in the defensive part of that midfield and things like that. So he offers so many options. But we're trying to keep, loan and sell our own players, and now we're starting to talk about signing others before we've even got there. So kind of it, I think.
Okay, Kudos, I believe, is going to
loan him out.
Kulusevski.
And he loves him.
I don't think he'll play again.
I don't think he'll ever play again.
Really?
If there was a bit right now that I knew we could sell him, I would sell him.
Yeah,
he's done.
It's almost irrelevant because there's no way you sell him.
Yeah,
because no one's buying him.
Yeah,
so he stays just by.
But we can't. Yeah, we can't. But let's put in the release back bracket, because if we're now, this is the important thing that we have to remember. We have a squad that we have to build, and there's only a certain amount we can have in that squad. Kulusevski is going to take up. We've got 17 players. Is it 17 we can have in the overseas category?
Yeah.
He's taken up a spot. I know he's not going to, but you're still having to pay him wages and stuff. But if we want to go from 17th to being a top 6 side, unfortunately the injury is the injury that it is. But we've got to get players on this pitch.
Yeah,
I understand the reasoning, but it will never happen. That would be a PR disaster.
You just leave him out the squad. And say,
but even when he comes back, I don't want him anywhere near it, because he's not going to be getting to the levels that we need anymore. He's going to be 2 years behind.
Yes, but he's still. If we had him now, he'd be our best player.
Yeah,
so even if he's behind, he's still one of our best players, possibly. We just don't know.
Yeah, but this shouldn't be the case. The case is now we should be buying players to replace him and in this squad, not players.
You should always do that.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. No, he can't be here anymore. Like, this is where we have to be ruthless. We have finished 17th and 17th twice because he's not been around.
Yeah.
It's harsh. It's harsh, but if we want to finish 17th again, then keep people like Kulu, so we can sit there and wait for them to come back and get in the first.
But he's of no impact. He's of no impact by keeping him.
But
you're not selling him, so you're not making money. If you release him, it costs you.
So when he comes back, say he comes back in, say, January, February, yeah? Say he comes back in February, are you going to risk losing an overseas place because he's coming back?
Well, that's all based on fitness. If he's gonna come back and then not be able to play until March or April,
but then he can't play. Then you're keeping him there for a year for no reason.
That's what I'm saying. So that he won't be. He absolutely won't be. And if that's the case, then it would be. He might be loaned, possibly loaned. But there's no way he leaves this club at this moment in time.
I don't think
but he shouldn't be here. For me, it's just I'm done. I'm done with injuries. I've had injuries for the last 2 seasons now. But
this is Spurs. Back. It could have been an in-ground toenail, and we've just kept him out for 2 years.
I feel sorry for him. I really feel sorry for him. But unfortunately, I can't feel sorry for players anymore when my club has finished 17th and 17th 2 years in a row. I need players now.
I understand the reasoning. I understand the logic.
And so, Lubo, you get to pick where he goes.
Lulu, release.
Okay.
Lubo, is this new you?
Okay, you're not going to like this. Again, I'm the same with Maddison. He's our best player. But now it's every fucking single year this guy's getting injured for us. And again, because he's our best player, we are relying on him so much. I need better players than Maddison to now come in. It can't be. We're in the same situation. If we're going to finish 17th and 17th again.
But hang on, Marlon, he had an ACL, didn't he?
Yeah, but it's not the first injury. Forget the ACL.
But he's not the only one who's had an ACL.
Yeah, he's not the only one.
It's not like that injury is a bad injury and it's only him that
gets
it.
No, but I'm
Benston had it. Bentancur had it.
Yeah, but I'm not. I didn't want to keep Bentancur. You lot said you wanted to keep Bentancur, but I'm the same. Look, for me, it's not okay. The ACL. Take the ACL out. Maddison misses big chunks of the city. He missed last year. He's our best player. And are
you trying to get rid of anyone that's got an ACL-related injury?
I don't want to
drag us in at Bentancur at Cooley at.
I don't want injured players anymore. Not Spurs. If we've got this bad medical team as we are,
I understand that. But Gallagher never got injured. Never missed a game.
Yeah.
Comes in, gets injured. Solanke never missed a game. So it doesn't matter whether they're injury prone or not. We'll bring them in, other players, and they'll get injured.
But for me, Maddison again is, and I love him. I think he's been absolute, and he's been a breath of fresh air coming back. But I'm not just looking at his ACL this year. I'm looking at the injury the year before and the year before that, and it just seems to be.
Marlon, he's played 78. He's made 78 appearances.
Yeah,
in 3 years.
But I'm relying on him as my best player, and this is the issue that I have with it. And I don't know at this present moment if Maddison's going to recover from this, because he's getting to an age now. As much, look, I'd love to keep him around, but I want to replace him with something better now. And
no, I think for even for like leadership reasons, I think he has to stay.
And again, but it's all about sentiment.
It's not. I just said go and get Morgan Gibbs-White, and if Morgan Gibbs-White starts in front of him, I'm all right with that. But again, it comes back to the same thing I say all the time. If we sell Maddison, the person that comes in won't be as good as him.
Yeah, and this my thing is
that's it.
Look, this is me saying if we can get better. I'm not sitting there saying we are going to, but if I'm going to give Kulu the same, well, not Kulu as much, but for me with Maddison, it's just more a case of it's just every time that he just gets going, there seems to be something that stops him, and he's our best.
No, I agree
with
that, but I think that's the problem is that you've got 3 in release, 2 in sell. You got if you put Maddison in there and Bentancur.
But I want to replace these. I want to start getting in players now. We finish for me. I'm looking at going. We finish 17th and 17th. It doesn't matter with or without. Maddison's our best player in the 17th and 17th. If I want to start finishing higher up the table, I need to stop thinking about sentimental things and going.
Marlon, Van der Ven had a big hamstring issue, didn't he? Kept getting hamstrings, kept missing games. Went away to America. They taught him to run, I think, slightly differently.
You had to run differently,
put less pressure on the hamstrings. And his appearance record this season
was one of the best. So much better.
So, and it's happened with Festignon as well. I mean, he's hardly missed a game at Fulham.
Yeah. So for me, Van der Ven,
you can sort out players with bad injury records. And I personally, I would give Maddison one more year. I think give him one more season.
I think the other part of it is that you've got to be understanding of the situation you're in. We're not going to lose. We're not going to sell 15 players and buy 15 players. No. So, like this is like obviously in terms of if we're saying what team do we think
we don't have to say 15 yet.
No, but I'm saying like if we were saying what are these players stay if we win the league or to win the league. Then yes, obviously, loads of them need to go and be.
If
we're being realistic,
if Maddison's going to be a bench player, okay, and we're going to manage him better, then okay, I'll keep him. But if Maddison's going to be the one that's going to start every week, then I have issues with that.
Well, if he starts every week, it means he's not injured, so that's a good thing, right?
No, but he's going to. I know he's going to get injured at some point. He does.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I think, but that's going back to the point. That's why we need a number 10. Yeah. Because if we do get a number 10, then Maddison is not going to play every single game because we 100% can guarantee he's going to get injured at some point
in the season.
If you don't manage,
he only needs to play half a season because we've got Xavi coming back, so Simmons is going to absolutely dominate.
Yeah, but and you got him.
The other thing also is that when you look at who could play a 10, you need somebody that's comfortable on the ball, someone that can beat players, someone that can thread a pass.
For me, it's just Maddison's age,
and we got it with Kudus. You could play Kudus as a 10.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Maddison's age is the one that concerns me with this.
If he ever gets fit, he's only 29.
He's 30 this year. But this is the time when footballers, when they get to a certain age, this is where the injuries start to affect them way much more than, say, a Van der Ven, a younger player, does. Or it does. Okay, so Maddison keep. You love said keep. But I'm on the fence with him. Okay, Odegaard.
He's got to stay because he's injured.
Yeah,
keep 100%.
Okay, I'm not going to argue with that. Even though he's another player that's just come to Spurs and can't seem to keep fit. Okay, Paulinho.
Looks like he's going, doesn't it? It looks like he's going.
Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
I keep him.
I'm not against him going. I'm not against him going.
Same.
But it depends on who they replace him with.
Yeah, big time.
I'm on this one. I'm either or, to be honest.
We have to bring in a central midfielder. We absolutely have.
We should probably.
So if we do that and we do that efficiently, then but again, like a lot of this is down to costing, right? If someone said like Palhinha's 22 or 24 million, if Bayern said, look, 15 million, you can have him, that might be a different answer.
Yeah. Agreed.
Do you know what I mean? If they said, oh, you can get Palhinha for 15 million and you went and got, I don't know, like, I know he's gone, but say like João Gomez from Wolves for 30 and you go, hang on a minute, we got both of them for 45 million. That's not a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? Really, like 45 million. So I think it depends on what else we do, but I'm okay with that being sell or keep, release or keep, to be honest.
We'll put him in release for now. If we think we need to keep him because we ain't got enough, we'll keep him. All right, Pedro Porro.
Keep 100%.
Keep for
probably
me,
our
mate.
best technical player in the squad. He stays.
I think with Porro, they're offering him a new contract. If he doesn't sign it, I think they'll sell him.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. They want to keep he. You just need to know how to play the guy. Like people,
you need to have the ball.
yeah. Well, but I'm sorry, but there was a Klopp figured out a way of playing Trent, right? Trent 1-on-1. Just watch any clip. He is awful, but his qualities outweighed his positives outweighed his negatives. It was the same. There was a certain point where Porro had the second most assists after Trent. If you figure out how to play Porro, he is a major asset, and I actually think he absolutely loves the club. Just that's just me, right? But that's my opinion. He should be a key. We did the same thing. I know it's not the same thing in terms of quality, but loads of Spurs fans, they're partying that Spurs fans had when we sold Walker because apparently Trippier was better. And then Walker went on and then did a madness at City. City want Porro for a reason. Just saying. They want him for a reason.
Yeah, Pep don't want him. It's not bad. Look, for me, I'd probably sell him. I like him. I just probably sell him now.
Me too.
I just think, again,
he was bought on.
He's got the club you deserve.
He was.
That's what we're telling him.
But no, he was bought as a wing back.
Yeah, he was bought as a wing back,
wasn't he? And since then, none of the managers, as soon as Conte left, he's not been played as a wing back, has he? So
no. But again, it comes down to like this. There's so many things you've got to take into consideration here. But I know for a fact if we sell Pedro Porro, the next right back that comes into this club won't be as good.
No, it'd be Spence.
And Spence isn't as good.
He's not.
I think he's a better defender, Spence.
He's a better defender.
He is. Yeah. Offers you nothing going forward.
Apparently, someone was saying that he's quicker than
he prefers playing on.
He's the fastest.
Spence is the fastest player in England.
Team. And in at Tottenham as well. Apparently, he's faster than Van de Ven. Apparently,
he ain't faster than Van de Ven.
Apparently, so someone said this. I was like, really?
Might have been when Van de Ven was injured.
Apparently, Spence is quick.
So he is quick. He's I think it was Tuchel said that he's the quickest player in the squad. But Spence is not. But again, it all comes down to what you're putting in play. And the problem we have right now is we've got no technical ability in the squad.
You can't buy that.
We're now.
You can't buy it.
No, but that's it. So if you're going at the start of the season, if you're turning around and going, actually, your midfield is now Bentancur and Morgan Gibbs-White. You've gone and got yourself, I don't know, Kudos is fit. You've gone and got yourself someone else in the 10. And then, okay, you might be sitting there going, we don't need the creative outlet at right back. But right now, if we didn't have Porro playing and Spence was playing every single game, then we wouldn't be as creative. We wouldn't be as good on the ball, and it would be more difficult. So that's that for me. Spence is not your right back.
Okay,
I think Spence is a good backup option personally.
So I'm going to leave there. Richarlison, I think we're all going to say sell.
Hang on, where did we put Porro though?
We're not putting Porro. We're going to leave him till last. now,
okay,
because we're 50-50 on him.
Richie. For me, you sell.
I'm sell.
We need better.
I'm going to leave you to talk about this one.
Romero.
Yeah. Because yet again, we'll sell him and we'll buy a worse player, and then we'll complain and say, "Why is that squad getting worse?"
The problem I have with Romero is he's the best defender at the club. We cannot. I know people have their things against him. It's a difficult one.
Again, this comes down to it.
Whether he wants to be here or not is the question.
I think under a De Zerbi, I'm not saying under De Zerbi and at Tottenham, but under a De Zerbi system, I think you'll see the very best in Romero. I think that he would like working. He would like working under that sort of manager. So I think if he's heads in staying, then it's not even a debate for me. He stays. But if his head's not in it, but that's the same as every player. There's no player in this squad that's so good that if their head's not in it, they should stay. Like if his head's not in it, he should go.
I want to keep him because I just want to piss off Sean for a year.
Again, if he goes, we now need a right centre back.
Yeah, we got one, Vuskovic.
There's no proof that Vuskovic can last the season in the Premier League. Exactly the same as we can't say that with Kinski. There's no proof that he can do that.
Yeah, but if he doesn't, we've got Danso's backup, innit? And Senesi and Van der Ven, we're all right, mate.
Listen, yeah, okay.
I've got to agree with Marlon. I think. Listen, I like Romero as a player. I think he's just for me. He's just a very, very good centre back. Problem is that his temperament this season has been appalling. You know, the guy's captain. He hasn't behaved like a captain. He's let us down on several occasions, and for me, you know, he
has also stepped up on several occasions.
Sorry.
Yeah, stepped up on a couple of occasions as well, because everyone forgets that he got the equaliser against Newcastle away. He stepped up. Burnley, he got the equaliser. Like, he has stepped up too. I know people want to throw all the negatives at him, but he's also stepped up when he's had to. And it won't be they're the two that I remember, but there's been a couple of times this season where he has been quality.
But we as a fan base have this fluctuations with players. It's the same thing with Spence and Porro. Like everyone, so many people in the chat saying, "Yeah, Spence is much better." Spence makes so many mistakes defensively, but no one talks about them.
Yeah, crosses,
because
he doesn't look random, does he?
From crosses, I remember the Bournemouth goals last year when Porro was running forward, lost the ball. I don't know, he made a pass. I think they lost the ball. Kirkes whipped in a cross from deep. Spence was 20, 30 yards off his man.
Yeah,
no one said a single thing about Spence.
But a lot of people would say that's not Spence playing in his correct position.
But
he's missed 19 games.
He wants to play.
Who's missed 19 games? Sorry,
Romero's missed 19 games this season.
Yeah, he's missed a lot for a captain as well.
It's all about mentality with him. It's all about whether his head's in it.
But Luke, you can't walk into a training session on a Monday and tell your manager whether you're going to train or not. Sorry, it's unacceptable.
Again, that comes down to the club allowing him to do that.
But hang on. But the club didn't force him to make that action. That says everything about Romero's head. He's a role model for the kids. He's captain for the first team. I'm sorry, he's got a responsibility to behave like a captain, and he doesn't. He does
in Argentina. He does for the national team.
Yeah, of course.
Because he's in the right setup.
He's always fit for the national team. We don't need players like that. As much as I like him, Vuskovic is meant to be a monster coming through. The kid's 19. Give him a chance. You got Danso's backup, and you got Senesi and Van der Ven on the other side. So for me, listen, we need a rebuild. So you got to sell players that are going to get you proper money, and Romero will get money. We'll get money for him. We'll get 45 million for him. Get rid.
I love the way Manage disappeared on the Romero thing. I've put him in sell for now.
Yeah, where has Manny gone?
It's probably putting the kids to bed.
Yeah.
So like, oh shit, it's 10 o'clock.
He's spoken quite a bit of sense for the last couple of minutes, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's been the most sensible thing. So Pepe Sarr sell. Is he?
Yeah.
Because he's not even homegrown now, is he?
No.
He has a bit. He missed out on that. Xavi Simons is keep because he's injured.
Yeah.
Solanke.
Keep.
Sell.
Keep.
You can't sell 2 strikers.
Keep. You can't go to striker.
You cannot go buy 2.
And you know what? Spurs can go out and buy 2 strikers like they did with Archibald and Crooks all those years ago.
I was told that Spurs are not going to buy another 10. So what makes you think that Spurs are going to buy 2 more strikers?
Because you need strikers, Manny.
I think we need strikers.
No,
If you put Solanke in there,
Mate,
right,
the
before
board
we
just
talk
told
about
me
Porro,
they're going to buy players.
before we talk about Porro, before we talk about possibly Spence, Tell, Udogie, Vicario, you're going to put Porro, Thingy in there, Solanke in there. That's 10 players. You reckon we're going to sell or release 15 players this year? It's not happening. It's not even the chance that half of these players get sold.
No. They might stay, but we want them gone.
Yeah, but that's longer term. Like, that's what I'm saying. You've got to think about it now.
Mate, I finished 17th and 17th. I've got nothing for these players now. 17th in 2 years. That's me done with them. I'm not sitting there going for another season because I want to be sentimental. They've let me down for fucking 2 seasons. I'm done.
Solanke's got 16-21 this season. So it's not good enough.
And even when he came back, Solanke wasn't great. But it was under Tudor. The only thing I'd say is, okay, maybe under De Zerbi it might be slightly different. But it depends on who we've got feeding Solanke is going to be the issue. If we don't have the Kudoses of this world, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
No, I think you'd keep him as a backup striker this season. You go and sign one, and then at the end of next season, you see where he's at. If he's still doing what he's doing now, then you go through.
Because he had 1 good season at Bournemouth. Let's be honest about it. And that's
I didn't want Solanke. I didn't want him, but he was.
For me, my biggest problem for me right now with Solanke is, and this is why I was in this relegation battle, I wasn't harsh on Richarlison being in it. He's outside the box too much. We end up putting crosses in, and nobody's in there.
A lot of that is about tactics. Look at a lot of people in the chat sell Richie, get rid of Solanke, he's crap, all this, that, and the other. I bet a lot of them would have said get Liam Delap. It looks like he's never played football for Chelsea. Literally, I watched him. It looks like he's never. So
it's funny, Luke. It's funny because I thought Delap last season was very good.
Yeah, so did I.
That was a crap Ipswich line.
Yeah, before he went Chelsea, I thought we need to get Delap. And then at Chelsea,
I've been poor this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
But again, it could be again. This all could be down to circumstances and where they're in.
Exactly.
Because if Delap came to Tottenham, he may have played completely different.
He'd have been injured. So yeah,
true. So I'm gonna put Solanke in keep for now.
Ooh.
Me and Lubo want him sold, but
Lubo's got the defining vote.
Here you go, Lubo. Where do you want him?
He's gone. Solanke's gone.
Okay. What's his name again? Souza. I forgot his name. That's bad.
He's got a loan.
No, loan, please. Whoa, Marlon. Come on.
Marlon, you're loaning.
You were way too quick to keep.
He needs to learn English and learn this game.
He can learn English in any part of the championship. I'm sorry.
Also, it's a universal language. You can learn it anywhere.
No. Marlon, do you guys know each other? Like, cause you went way too quick into that keep section.
Way too quick. Finger on the trigger there. Loan.
This is a guy that's made more appearances at right wing than he is at left back. And he's also, did you know that he's actually been injured more than he's been available in his whole career?
Really?
If you actually go and look at his Santos record, he's been available for something like 90 games and he's only played like 42 or something stupid like that. Like, he's actually missed more games than he's played for
He's
injury.
at the right club.
So
he might play games now.
Better play.
Spence.
Well, he's your new right back, boys. So he's started.
He's the new right back. Tell.
My chips are staying in Tell.
Sell.
My chips stay in Tell.
I'm keeping him.
We need to keep him.
Nah. You can't keep both Odegaard and Tell.
Well, I wouldn't want to keep Odegaard out the two. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't want to keep Odegaard.
No. Odegaard, in my opinion,
what's Odegaard done? He got injured when he was playing well and got injured.
In my opinion, Odegaard will get further than Tell. Odegaard will get further than Tell. I'm telling you.
I remember you said to me, yeah, come outside for the Leeds game, yeah, when we had to stream early, but it never happened. That's
telling
exactly
you
what's going to happen with Oda Burrentel. Ain't going to happen.
Oh, okay. We'll see.
Luke,
We
tell
will
him.
see.
Tell him.
Tell is not. He's not gonna make it. He is not gonna make it. I'm telling you. He will be very good at Paris FC. I have nothing against him. I have nothing.
It'll be better than Oda at Paris FC.
Invest in Tel stock now.
Nah. I'm
Do
sorry.
I have the casting vote then on Sell?
Yeah, you do.
Sell.
No.
Thank you, Lubo. Thank you.
I'd keep him. I would. Luke, I'm with you. See, you thought you wouldn't agree with me. See, I'd keep him.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Destiny Doggy.
Sell.
Yeah,
Keep.
I'm Sell. He's just not again, Lubo.
And one of the main reasons why we have to sell him is because we've brought Robertson in.
Sean is in the chat.
Keep Ben Davies then?
Right?
Keep Ben Davies.
Yeah, true.
You sorry? What you sell Udogie?
Yeah, I think he has to go.
Fitness.
He's
I can't
too injury prone.
I can't be sitting there talking about
That's fair. I'm not going to argue.
and Madison, and you Doggy's not.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not.
But the other part to it is who comes in for it. So if someone said to you, right, Udogi's going to play 50% of games this year, who's playing the other 50%? I don't know whether Robertson is the player to play 50% of games. Like, I'm not sure.
For me, it's unfortunate that his name Robertson for Fulham got injured this year because he has barely walked. He would have been a great replacement.
But
he's injury. He's the last. I think his injury record's not been great recently, and coming to Tottenham, I can't take that risk.
Listen, I'm not going to argue this one. Like, genuinely, Udogie can't cross. That I've never seen a left back that can't cross. So I'm in the balance with him. I don't mind whether you guys decide.
This is why I'm looking again, and I would always use this. We finished 17th in 2 years because we can't get our best players out, and he's one of them. So I need to replace him. Someone who's going to give me 30-something games, not 15.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that one. You might be right on that one.
Udogie, I will keep.
Oh, sorry. Actually, Udogie. I thought you were talking about someone else.
3-1.
Fair enough. Okay.
I didn't vote on this one, to be honest.
Van der Ven we're keeping, yeah?
Yeah.
Vicario, we're all selling, yeah?
Right, so according to you guys, Richie's part of the first team. Romero,
1, 2, 3, 4,
Solanke,
5, 6, 7,
Tell,
8, 9,
Doggy.
10, 11. Oh, we got 12. We got 12.
Or keep.
We got 12.
Oh, we got 12 already.
Yeah, we got 12.
What's happening to Poro?
That's the question. I'm willing to sell. Even though I think he is. I think Luke's right. Everything that Luke said about him is right. I'm willing to sell him now.
No, you should have just left it at everything as Luke said is right. That's it.
So you would sell Poro and bring in another right back, I guess.
No, I'd bring in what I'd do, the money that we raise for him, I'd bring in someone of better quality in the central midfield, at the central role. So it'd probably be.
I'll tell you what we should do. We should look at the players.
Number 8.
Right, look at the players that you've said keep and put your starting 11 in there that you think good enough for next year, and then tell me how many players.
Most of them, about 5 or 6 of them are on the bench that I'd keep. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so you're literally none of them are a striker, so we need a striker.
Yeah, but the ones that I'm selling, so I'm replacing it with a striker.
Yeah, so you need a striker.
So
we need Kudos. You said Madison playing 10, so we need a 10.
Yeah, we need a 10. We definitely need a 10. Don't even get started.
You got Odovert there, so I'm gonna take you on a left winger.
I've got Tell up there. I wanted Tell. I wanted to keep Tell.
Right.
No,
so that's three players.
It doesn't matter. Okay, let's just say you keep Tell, right? You can't have Tell as your starting left winger.
I'm a striker.
Midfield.
Sabinho's going left wing. Number 10 is Morgan Gibbs-White right now with Connor.
No, wait. I'm just working out how many players you think we're signing. So we've got 3 there. So the centre midfield, the only pairing you've got there is Gallagher and Bentancur. But you don't like Bentancur, so you need at least one centre midfielder. So that's 4.
No, I like Bentancur, but I'm willing to sell him.
right? So that's 4 then.
Yeah,
You need
another
you need a
midfielder.
new left back. I agree with you. You need a new left back.
Okay.
If you're selling Romero, you need a centre back. So
I'm
that's
selling
7. So
Romero.
we're buying 7 first team signings.
We need
We
to.
should.
We should.
Goalkeeper
Of course, I'm
Yes.
buying that. Yeah.
No,
Yes.
and Porro.
Luke, the reason why I'm
No,
being
we
this
need to
harsh,
keep on,
I've wasted 2 seasons with these players. If I went and bought in 8 players,
If we
I know-
went, I know what you're saying. If we went and signed 9 first team players to start in our first 11 this season, will we relegated?
no,
We
might
won't.
be.
We will not. We will
we
not
might
be able to
be.
get and gel 9 first team players. It won't happen.
Well, De Zerbi, yeah, we will.
What?
De Zerbi, bro. And the
Excuse
problem
me?
is, De Zerbi,
Have you met De Zerbi?
he won't.
It's not even about the Zerbi. It's about
your 9 players in. He
you're
won't throw.
thinking.
Yeah,
You're
but
thinking
he's
that
the
this club will sign 9 good
No, they
players.
won't
We're
sign
not
9
talking
players.
about.
No, this
We're
is
not
what-
talking
listen,
about signing
we-
15 players and
this-
having a
this
good
is what we
ratio of
need.
12 and
Even
13
though
working.
we've signed one already on a free, right? Senesi, who is good enough to be in that first 11.
correct.
So it doesn't necessarily always have to be signing a top player.
I've got
Like,
Jed
we-
Spence. I've got Jed Spence right back. I've got Senesi and Van der Ven. So I've still got Dancer and Vuskovic to come in. Okay,
Hang on, Marlon. Let me solve the left back problem for you,
Van der Ven.
Van der Ven.
Yeah.
Let's put Vuskovic next to Senesi.
That's what he needs with his hamstrings running up the wing.
Hey, he never got injured when he played left back under Postecoglou in those last couple of games.
And he plays left back for Holland as well, doesn't he?
Yeah. So,
And you've
You
got all that.
mentioned
Backup.
you mentioned Goat Ange. Oh, do you remember those days when we used to win trophies? God, a long time ago that was, wasn't it?
Stop it.
so realistically, when you think about it, when you actually think of yes, we need 7 or 8, we actually do need 7 or 8.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, but Marlon, when De Zerbi said what
I've got 12
everyone
players.
was thinking, which is I want to keep 10, 11, 12 players. How many players did anybody think he thinks he needs to come in? 6 or 7. It has to be.
It has to be.
Like finishing 17th, 2 seasons in a row, right? Whereby
And you've wasted 2 transfer windows as well. in
2
that time.
transfer windows. Yeah, that's it. Good point. The January transfer window, them not. I have my theory about the January transfer window, right? I think they weren't sure about Frank, and they decided, you know what, we ain't gonna spend the money on him. Having all of that, having the PSR headroom, having this new sustainability rule coming in, and you're telling me you can't bring in 6, 7 players and sack Lange on top of it. I'm sorry. You should be able to.
We might get 6, but again, like what I'm saying is, if we bring in 6, and I'm including Senesi and Robertson in that, Senesi and Robertson are not starters. I'm not sure what's the whole Senesi thing is going to be interesting, unless Van der Ven does play left back, but I'm not sure if he does.
No, have you seen his
bring in
stats? Luke, have you seen Senesi's stats?
Yeah, I think Senesi. I think he's brilliant.
They're different.
I think he's
They're different
really-
class to Romero and Van der Ven this season.
Senesi is the left centre back version of Romero, and so I don't know how the dynamic of him and Van der Ven works.
Yeah, that's a different conversation. Yeah,
Van der Ven isn't a left back, so I agree he'll play there, and I think if we was in Europe, it would make perfect sense. But for a team that's going to play 42 games next year, maybe I don't see Senesi and Van der Ven both playing. I find it a bit.
Let me put. Luke,
I think it's a great signing. I'm not saying that. I think it's a
Let me
great signing.
put this to you over Van der Ven. Van der Ven, when he was stood up by Saka down at our place this season, Saka killed him. He doesn't like facing a direct winger, striker. So for me, he's not fantastic in the air either, Van der Ven. It's not great defensively. So for
Nor is
me,
Senesi. Senesi's got the same vulnerabilities as Van der Ven. He's
So-
not great in the air, and he's not got moving his feet.
but then
Mate,
Vuskovic. Vuskovic is a monster in the air, isn't he?
Yeah, but Vuskovic is ultimately really, really slow. You can't have a centre-back pairing of Vuskovic and Senesi. It will not work.
I don't even think we're bringing Vuskovic back.
No,
anyway.
not do I.
Yeah, I think
No,
we're making him sign a long-term contract and sending him back on loan.
Yep, I agree.
So the season that Arsenal finished 5th, 2nd, they brought in 5 players in the January window and 3 in the 5 in the summer window, 3 in the January transfer window. So add 8 signings overall. We should probably be doing the same.
Yeah,
minimum.
Over the course of a season.
Yeah, but they still signed literally 5, standardly 5.
Yeah, well, we should be looking at with these the two signings of Senesi and Robertson. We should be looking at 4 more.
We didn't say this was just a summer window. We can, this is over the next season.
This is over the course of 37 years. We're going to get rid of. No, I just think that not only are you talking about getting rid of a load of players and getting a load of players in, but you also got to bring the right players in. And I think we've got.
That's
I think
key.
I think this shows us far more confidence in Tottenham Hotspur's recruitment than I currently have right now.
Yeah, but this is not. But this is about if it was us, this is what we'd do. If we know we were going to bring quality in.
Oh, if we're talking about, listen, there is.
Why? I mean, you're laughing.
If you was to wake up tomorrow, and you had a here we go of any of these players leaving, I'm sure most Spurs fans, there's not many where we'd be like, absolutely no, that's like terrible. We can't have that. Like, no way. Like
Maddison probably, but everyone would go a bit crazy about Maddison.
I'd argue that probably the biggest one that would cause an issue is Vuskovic. To be honest, I think everyone else. I think if someone turned around and went, "Oh, we're selling Kudos, but we're going to get out," like Akliouche might be linked, for instance. I don't think many people will be that bothered. I think if you're like Van der Ven, we've got Senesi now. Romero goes after fan base want him gone anyway. So I don't think there's that many about anyway where people are like, he absolutely stays and we build the team around, because none of them are that good.
But yeah, World Cup's going to play a massive part this year in it as well. But mate, I'm not saying we'll go and get 7 or 8 players, but in my head, I'm going, we need 7 or 8 players minimum to get back to even half of where we were, because that's how poor the last 2 years have been.
Yeah, but Porro's probably one of the best players in our squad. So there's
absolutely no reason to tell him. Absolutely zero reason.
He doesn't bother me. I don't think he's contributed enough for me to say I want to keep him.
I don't think any of them have contributed enough this season.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, Luke. This is what I'm saying. That's why I'm on the point of I don't care.
This is Thomas Frank ball.
Like, yeah, but some of this goes back to Ange as well, bro. You know it does.
He had as Manny said, and I don't even think it was one less. I think it was more. I think since Pedro Porro joined the Premier League up until when Trent left, he had more assists than Trent. I'm sure that's the stat.
Did I say I wanted Trent Alexander-Arnold at Tottenham Hotspur?
No, Trent is ridiculous. You got to play like Trent. You find a way to keep the best out of him. Do you know what I mean? So
if you're getting rid of
went to Real Madrid and got injured, didn't he?
That's that pitch. That retractable pitch.
If you're keeping, where are we now? 6, 7, 8. If you're keeping 12, loaning 2, and getting rid of 13, so in effect you're losing 15 out of 27. I think you've got to keep Porro based on.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Mikey Moore's not on this. Vuskovic is not on this.
Mikey Moore is a loan for me anyway.
Yeah, okay. I'll probably loan him back out, but there are the younger players that are not in this that may include.
You got to have a squad of 25, haven't you? At the moment, with Porro, we've got 13.
Yeah.
So we're struggling, aren't we?
Yeah, but this is the issue. It doesn't matter if Porro's in there or not. This is the issue Tottenham Hotspur have right now. We just don't have a good enough team, squad, and this is the reason why. Like, we are looking at it going, we do need 7 or 8 players minimum. Like, we've got 2. Look, let's be realistic here. There's 2 that have come in already, or 10 potentially coming in. So there's 6 more, and we've spent nothing on the 2 coming in.
Yeah.
But, so could you bring in another 6 players for money?
Well, you should listen. The club should have. You'll get over 100. You get over 100 million for the players that are going. And the club, I'm sure, have got the money to top it up to 200, 250. There's no shortage of money if you're selling these sort of players and you're getting decent money for them.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you get? Dragusin 15, Richie maybe 20, 35, Romero 45 is 80. Sar 20 is 100, Solanke 30, 130. Tell maybe 25, 30.
We're not selling Tell. We're not selling Tell. Tottenham are not selling Tell.
Udogie, you get maybe 15, 20. Vicario, you'll get maybe 17. So you're looking at the best part of 150 million there.
Yeah, raised. Yeah.
So
Not considering our fan base say that they're all shit, we're getting 170 million from. I'm joking. I don't rate some of them players.
So the club put in 100 million. You got 250 million to spend. If you get that sort of money for those players.
Well, this is the thing.
You drop 100 on Morgan Gibbs White,
and Wharton,
and then we end up buying 8 more players for 50 million, and then moaning that none of them are good enough because we ain't spent the money.
Savinho's coming in, isn't he?
I have my early pre-season prediction is we're going to win the league.
No, I'm not selling Tell. I'm not selling it. I'm not his biggest fan, but I'm not selling it.
My Tell stock is
Marlon. Sean,
embarrassing. I'm seeing what's happening. I leave for 2 seconds and Tell goes up.
Do you know what? Just to disagree with Sean, actually, I'm going to sell him.
Marlon. Sean subscribed and then unsubscribed in 30 seconds.
Listen, I wouldn't mind if we
He's on Luke's channel, I think. It's fine. It's not mine.
You're off the Spurs hub now.
Oh crap! Yeah, I forgot about that. Well, who else has been unsubscribed from that?
I've not seen a single link to Tell being sold on there.
He was nearly sold in January, though. He was. Paris FC did want him.
Exactly. No one at Spurs has got a fucking clue, have they? He's not wrong.
He's wrong. He's not wrong at all.
Right, so in summary, every single player in our squad is useless. Lubo and Marlon both want to sell the lot and buy a whole brand new squad.
Do you know what?
Look, free transfers and 20 million players.
This is really funny. I'm going to say this, yeah, and I'm going to say it in jest. But because of the season we just had and the season before, I am willing to take the risk to go and buy 7 or 8 new players and see how it works out, because what they're doing right now ain't working.
Great.
Marlon's happy with players like Adam Armstrong coming in, and that's the sort of level that we'll be signing players.
Adam Armstrong, where'd you get him from? He's gone to Wolves for a reason.
Because he'll score a lot of goals in the Championship, and that's where we'll be if you was the director of football.
Yeah, but that's next year. I don't have to worry about that till next year.
All I'll say is I think we're getting rid of a hell of a lot of players in this, and the turnover needs to be exemplary, and I can't see it happening.
Well, if it was down to us, Luke,
I reckon about half. I reckon half of those players either get sold or released. But no, the release. I think Moani obviously and Basuma go, and I think Palhinha does as well. So that's realistic. But that sell, I reckon maybe half of them would go.
They've got to have interest in them. That's the other bit as well.
I think Vic will go.
So Richie, I think, will go.
Yeah,
I think Vic will go. Solanke's got interest from Newcastle. All that depends on Eddie Howe still being there.
I think the first 5 go, and I think Vicario probably as well, and that's it.
Okay. Yeah, Udogie. I don't think Udogie's got. I would sell Udogie, but I don't think he's got any stock to be, unless someone in Italy gets him for cheap.
Or if we find a way of we get a decent left back for cheap prices that we weren't expecting, and then you loan Udogie for 1 year. If he goes on loan into the Italian league or something,
I wouldn't loan him. You better. It's either sell or keep.
No, but if you loaned Udogie for 1 year and he stayed fit in the Italian league, his price will increase massively by staying fit.
A bit like Jet Spencer's did because of Genoa. Even though they kind of tried to beat us down, he had a good.
Weird that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ange's to blame for his demise, yet best ever football was played under him. Bit weird that one, but anyway, that's time for another day.
Yeah, but Ange also said some things, and you're like,
It's going to be an interesting summer, isn't it? Because he's had his pre-season the last 2 months, hasn't he? So He'll know who can play his system,
Yeah,
and who he doesn't think can. So I think that sort of made the transfer summer that little bit easier for him. You know,
And it's vitally important, Lubo, as well, that he's had that, because if he was coming in at the
like Frank
start
did,
of
like
the
Frank.
year, then you've got the World Cup, which will just interrupt
Yeah.
it. He's not going to have him away. So we could have been in real dire straits if it wasn't for this.
Yeah.
So it is a massive, massive positive. Probably one of the only things Spurs have done well recently. So let's see. Now we just need to go and sell half the squad.
please. I don't care. I've got no affiliation to them anymore. I'd take a risk. I really would. I know. Look, Forest did. And they stayed up in their first season in the Premier League. Luke, remember they signed. Everyone was taking the piss. But where are they now?
One position above us.
Yeah, but they. But if you think about it, remember when they took the risk when they came up to the Premier League and they bought everybody, and everyone was saying, "You can't do that."
Yeah, no, I understand that, but we again, like all of these injuries. If we had 50% less injuries next year,
but
then we won't be 17th.
Yeah, but Luke, we've got to pray on these players not getting injured again.
Yeah. No, but I think that's more down to the stuff going on behind the scenes. To be honest, I don't think it's like, as I say, like.
But there are certain
played 38 games for Bournemouth in the Premier League, and then the next year he's out in the second game for us. Like,
I need to jump. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna finish up now anyway. Sorry about that.
That's 12. We've all got to go, Manny.
All right, guys, I'm off. My little ones keep getting up. So,
all right, mate.
Cheers, Manny. See you later.
Are we going to do like predictions for next season, or are we going to do that?
How are we gonna find you, fucking idiot? What's wrong with you? Sometimes, Luke, I will kill you.
I think beginning of September is a good time to do your predictions. Interesting thing is that with the league starting later, I think it's the weekend of the 22nd of October. August, should I say? So I'm feeling tired as well. So you're going to have two Premier League games before the end of the transfer window.
Just a quick thing on Maddison, yeah. And a quick thing on Maddison. You know what I was saying earlier about his injury record, yeah?
Yeah.
So obviously he missed 46 games this year altogether. Last year he missed 11 for Spurs, and the year before that he missed 13. That's way too many for our star player.
Yeah, but don't forget, if they were, it depends if they were European competition.
They 77 out of 152.
Yeah.
Or 78 out of one. So just over half.
Just like, but I want when I'm looking at players, like if I take Harry Kane for talking purposes, 90% of the time he was fit. Sonny the same. Yeah. That's where I need Maddison to be at, because he's my best player.
That's why
assist and passing, he's brilliant.
But Marlon, that's why I've been reading a bit. People have been talking about John Stones this week. He's played 36 games in three league competitions.
Yeah, you had to bring him in for vibes, mate. Yeah.
However good he is, he's a lovely footballer.
He's a brilliant footballer, but again, if I can't get him on that pitch, he's useless to me.
That's right.
But yeah, on that note,
it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Lubo, what are Spurs 5 doing this summer?
Johnny and I we're rebranding. We're bringing someone else in. We're trying to get it all sorted out at the moment, and we'll get back to everybody very soon.
Ooh, look at that, Johnny and Lubo. You know they are the brains behind Spurs 5, yeah.
Lubo's the beauty as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Listen,
Sean Stell.
I'm trying to tell you something. They were great people to work with, and Saba. You know, it's always fun working with good YouTubers.
Yeah.
So for me, I've enjoyed it. Got nothing bad to say. It's been a blast. And you know, as in life, things move on, don't they? So
yeah.
Well,
as always, Lubo. Everybody loves Lubo. That's my famous saying.
Lubo in Archie Grayen.
Thanks for having me on, guys. It's been a blast.
Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, mate.
It's been a pleasure tonight. Luke?
I'm rebranding too for the summer. It's SpotliteOnSpurs. I can't listen to us. I can't talk about us. I just want to get to the World Cup and then start afresh with the Zerbi's 37 players that he's now signing for us and see how we get on.
Yeah, he will. He will watch this space.
How about you? What's going on the Spurs Kings?
I'm taking a month off, mate. This is it. I take a month off every June. I'm done. I don't want to talk about Spurs. I don't want to see Spurs. I'm done. And then July, Ash will be rushing me back so he can do the transfer news.
There we go. World Cup starts soon.
Yeah. Spotlight on Lubo. I love it.
Coming to you soon.
Yeah. On YouTube. Yeah. It could be like Sean and the Rabbit Hole, but Spotlight on Lubo.
Oh my God.
Big up to everyone that's actually stayed with us. We've had a lot of people stay with us for this last hour or so. So big up to everyone that stayed with us. Everyone in the chat, you've made the show happen, as always. We'll be back end of July to round up some of the transfer window with our 7 or 8 players, Luke, won't we?
Yes, we will.
We will. And Manny, obviously, designated Hotspur. All the links will be in each other's links and whatnot. We'll do that, sharing around. But there's only one last thing to say, really. We're still Premier League.
Yeah.
Let's all have a party. Let's all have a party.
That's right. We were the 4th worst team in the Premier League this year.
Yeah.
Again. We are consistent. Let's see if we can break the cycle.
Cheers, Richard.
Yeah.
I think we did too. But yeah, big up to everyone. As always, come on, Spurs.